Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you so very much to Chris G Beanie. It's Chris G Beanie. Thank you so very much for dropping the tier 1 sub. That's actually an entirely brand new tier 1, and it's not often we get those, so thank you so very much for the support. It helps out a ton, and I do hope that you're enjoying what we're able to put out there, of course. And how's your day been going? Thank you. Oh, if you want to check out all of your sub benefits in the Discord, as well as the ones on Twitch, the ability to use emotes, post links, and dodge ads. Hopefully there's some cool stuff there, but thank you so very much for being here, and I hope that we can get some good stuff going. And saying hello to everyone I see. 2100, Silly Rabbit, Stellar Starfall. I just realized I need to turn on It's Me Nikke over here. There we go. Let's see. DeBoss, OC, Nevea Archangel. I feel like it's only at the start of the stream when I'm reading names that I accidentally say the full thing. Nevea, what's up? Mega Fan King, how's it going? Lumiere, Crayosauce, 2100. Did I get 2100? I think I might have gotten you like 3 or 4 times. And it's Chris Beanie. Thank you so very much for dropping on by. Also, might I make a note of the fact that you dropped the sub and then said your first message in chat. What a chat. What a chat. Absolutely. Thank you so very much for the support, dude. It genuinely does help a lot. And I hope that you're, like I said, I hope that you're enjoying what we're able to put out there. How's it going, Captivate TV? It's just like that, isn't it? It's going alright, it's going alright. I didn't get any time to work on this piece, which kind of sucks, like over the course of the last 2 days, but I did put work into finishing one of my commissions, so it's pretty much done. I just need to, what is the word? I just need to finish up some polish. Basically, there's a whole bunch of words that go on the outfit, and I kind of just left those to the end, so hopefully it doesn't take too long to get that figured out. But, so I just need to do that, and then I've got one of my commission pieces done, a couple more, and we should be good for the month. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I see the people on the Twitter, on the YouTube side of things, 2100 and Lumiere. Thank you guys so very much for being there. YouTube's aggressive with promoting your stream. I think it's just that if it knows you've clicked on my stream before, it's going to keep recommending you my stream. So, for example, when I was on YouTube, I've been watching a little bit of Tekken, and one time promoted, like I watched an iMusician set on, like a Tekken 7 set a long time ago, and it was recommending me his live stream. So I clicked on it, watched for a few minutes. I don't really play a lot of Yoshimitsu, so I didn't really know what to watch, or what to look for. I'm like, oh, okay, iMusician's cool. And then every time he goes live now, he always pops up on my front page. So it's kind of the same thing. If you click on the stream once, I think YouTube kind of figures that you're down to watch their live stream again. That'd be my guess, at least. No problem. Been lurking for a while and enjoying the vibes. Hey, I appreciate you being here. And like I said, when I say it helps, I do genuinely mean it. It does help a lot. So thank you so very much for the support. I'd watch the FF7 streams, but I want to play the game myself at some point. I want to spoil the story for myself. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I totally get that. That's kind of like, I'm trying to remember. I guess when Persona 5 came out, I was trying to because at some point I plan to play Persona 5. I still haven't played it yet, but one of these days, right? But I had planned ever since seeing, how do I say it? Once I had seen, no, that doesn't sound right. So I literally just rolled out of bed, so apologies if I'm not able to like string sentences together for next couple of minutes here while I start to wake up a bit. But I guess I planned to play Persona 5 at some point, and when that game came out, you know, everyone was streaming, and I was trying my best to avoid all the playthroughs. Same thing with when Royal came out, I was like avoiding people that were playing through it. Play Royal. Yeah, I'll definitely play Royal. Since I know it has all of the, it's just the updated version of the game with extra characters and all that. Yeah, I also, at some point it'd be nice if I could play Persona 3 as well, but we'll see. I'm technically like 5 hours out from finishing Persona 4. Although at this point, like, I don't like any of the dungeons at the end of Golden. They're kind of awful. So, I figured I'd probably just watch the end of the game. I don't really want to play through it. Because the second to last dungeon in the game is one of the Golden dungeons. God, it was horrible. Like, you couldn't grind in the dungeon. And, like, when I play JRPGs, I'm the kind of person that will just grind until the levels are easier. But the way they had set it up, Was it? I don't remember exactly how they did it, but you couldn't grind the dungeon to get stronger to make the boss easier. So it just, I hated every moment of it. I basically had to spend like 2 hours going through the dungeon without the ability to grind it. If I had spent the 2 hours grinding it, I would have been like way over leveled for the fight, but it didn't allow for that. So I don't remember how it did it, but it was really annoying. Let's see. Naughty Tippy, what's going on? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Hello, hello. At least Twitch is the one fish swimming against the current. In which regard? Sorry, what's up? What's up? Drainus, I see you in the YouTube chat. How's it going? Hello, hello. Looking better every day. Well, thank you. I didn't get a ton of time to work on this piece since I spent most of my time working on my commission stuff, but I'm hoping that I can get this one at least a little further along before the start of the stream, or before, what do I say it? Or before the end of the stream, sorry. Let's see. Oh, and shoutouts, of course, to Naughty Tiffy. Please make sure you guys are stopping on by, saying hello, and being the kind and inviting people I'd always expect. And how goes things? How goes things? I beat Golden not that long ago for the first time. I want to talk which dungeon for which character, but spoils. Or I want to talk which dungeon for which character, but spoils for the others. It's a Golden dungeon. There are ending dungeons I didn't like either, so I hear you. Yeah. Specifically the two dungeons the game ends on if you play Golden, which is, I'm pretty sure how everyone's playing Persona 4 these days. It's just those dungeons suck, man. They're kind of awful. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was not happy with that, and trying to get through them was a bit of a pain. Thanks very much to, it's Chris G. Beanie. Yo, thanks very much for the tier 1 sub. Actually, the gifted sub, because this one's going over to Mega Fan King, so thank you so very much, dude. On top of the sub for yourself, thanks very much for gifting a tier 1 sub. It means a lot to me, of course. And same thing, I hope that you've been enjoying your stay today. I know I just woke up, so I'm maybe not holding myself up super well. Oh, that's a weird way to say it. I just woke up not too long ago, so apologies if I'm like not as good with my wording. It's okay. I could have made that sentence a bit better, but thank you so very much. Anything to support man. Well, thank you, thank you. Hopefully... Oh, I was like so confused. I had two different folders for the hair. I actually forgot that on this piece I had done that on purpose because I had a first attempt at making the hair, which I didn't like so much, so basically redid it from scratch. And it, to be fair, looks pretty similar. I guess the biggest difference is that with this second attempt, there's a more dramatic lighting situation, which I think looks pretty good. Baphomet, what's going on? Hello, hello. I was a bit stressed today, but it's okay. Captain knows more than I do about a lot of things. I don't know. Maybe. I guess it depends on the thing, though. I don't know. Well, how goes it? How goes it? Oh, what had you feeling stressed? I know that a lot of people were talking about, was it Gumroad? There's like some big drama about Gumroad trying to remove suggestive content. I don't know too much about that. I did see a couple people talking about it, though. That got me stressed exactly. Do you use Gumroad? Gumroad's usually where you put like a whole bunch of... Actually, I don't really know. I think that's where people would usually drop a lot of their like older Patreon benefits, right? So like if you wanted people to pay for it, but you didn't want to make it available past the month where it was supposed to be available, you put it up on Gumroad so people could buy it separately. Let's see. Nope, only Patreon. Ah, okay. I guess it's at the same time it does feel, I guess, a bit scary, in as much as like, oh, if that space is affected, then what other spaces will be affected by the end of it? So no, I totally get that. Able to escape at the last minute from Ruin, 2022. Which one would have been 2022? How long ago was Tumblr doing its thing? Was that like 2022 maybe? Tumblr's 2018. Okay, so that was quite a while ago. Huh. Can't say I know which one's 2022. It's not art related? Huh. I mean, when I think of, like, disease, I think obviously, like, COVID around that time. Although I feel like I'd more associate that with 2021 or 2020. I'm waiting for Rem in the last, or I'm so waiting for Rem in the last week of this month. I'm excited. I did get or I think Cuppy Cakey messaged me. I was talking about how the art did look a little rushed. Not like the standing poses, but like her holding her gun pose. And the more I look at it, the more I'm like, yeah, this collab probably was rushed out. Because if you look at the artwork, you can see like the line work's all jittery. Like she was sending me some pictures, like this one. This is like part of her gun. And you can kind of see the line work's just really like, they were moving real fast. Now, mind you, at a distance, you can't really tell. But, you know, that was one of those, I don't know, you can kind of just look around at it, and it's a little disappointing that it looks so rushed, but... That's kind of how I do line work, to be honest. I don't make it perfect. Yeah, it's not that you need to make it perfect or anything. I guess it's just that the standard in Nikke so far has been really clean line work, if that makes any sense. So this one stands out as looking very, very different by comparison. Do you think they'll clean it up by the release? I mean, no, probably not. They've already put out promotional material. This is the image they had set up. There we go. And then this, you can see down here if you scroll in, is the messier bits. So like, on one hand, it's still Rem. Rem looks great. There are a couple of things that look a bit weird. I don't love that hand. I don't love that hand. But, and I don't love the position of the arm. But I mean, other than that, I do think it looks pretty good. But yeah, I don't think they'll redo any of the work at this point. It's probably far too late to do that. The character's about to be, you know, in the game, like, really, really soon, so. At the very least, her standing pose looks really good. And if you're looking at the cover poses, I think that Amelia looks great. This is Amelia's cover pose. Wait, hold on. Let's try to open up the link as opposed to the image. There you go. Amelia looks great in her cover pose, and she gets to use a staff too, which is really cool. There we go. So it's not like you have to give all the characters big rocket launchers or anything. It does feel a bit weird then that they gave Rem the giant machine gun, but the machine gun's the most viable gun in the game. So, you know, in terms of her getting a machine gun, I'm fine with it. Like, does it fit her in some ways? I don't know, I see how they tried to turn it into the Morning Star, or her like little ball and chain thing that she uses. But you know what? Machine gun's the best gun. Why not give it to her? So she could be like a more viable unit in that respect. Her gun looks long. It's definitely a sniper rifle. But yeah, I don't know if she's going to be super viable, because she's going to be the free SR, which makes sense, you know. Like, if we're looking if we're looking at the three of them, the weakest one by far is Rom. Like, in terms of the actual series, so it makes sense she would be the SR. It does suck, because I know a lot of people really like Rom, so having her as the SR doesn't feel very good, because it means you're probably not going to be playing with her too much, but I don't know, still look, I think that her art looks good. Yeah, they gave the Devil Hunters these horrendous looking weapons. I don't know, I wasn't a big fan of that. It didn't really fit, but at the same time, like, what else do you do? Like, I see why it's a hard problem to solve, you know? And I think in Rem's case, it's a very hard problem to solve. Because, like, she has a melee weapon, but, like, a retractable melee weapon? I don't know. It'd be hard to figure out how to make that work in one of the gun archetypes in the game. You could give her something like what Black Shadow Scarlet has, where she she has to charge up, then fire, and then fire again after another charge. But like not have it be, because technically Black Shadow Scarlet is a rocket launcher, and you don't have to make her a rocket launcher or anything. But well, so she's technically a rocket launcher, but obviously her gun doesn't play like a rocket launcher does. They could have done something like that for Rem and her ball and chain, but it's fine. Like I said, machine guns are the best class of gun in the game, and I think they're more fun to play with in general, so I don't mind. This is just the song playing, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I can't have like my overlays up all at the same time. I still need to figure out how to get this to work out a little bit better. In terms of like reading the chat and reading my my mini feed. Sorry, I'm just now waking up and I just woke up. I'm still feeling a little sickly, so apologies there if I'm like taking these long pauses. Make Power throw her blood weapons. Yeah, it definitely feels like they probably should have done something like that, but yeah, I know it's a bit of a weird problem to solve. There we go. Oh. Also, I'm drinking Ghost Energy for the first time in ages. So for a while, I was drinking Ghost Energy pretty consistently, but then they stopped selling them at my grocery stores, and I just started drinking more Monster more than anything else. California keeps having cold weather. It's so warm here in Houston. Yeah, I think it was cold today. I don't actually remember. It's 57 right now, but I made a joke that at this point we're going to get a One Piece collab, but yeah, to be honest, we're pretty close. Or to be honest, we're pretty close. What is that reference to? Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of respect for the One Piece story and everything, but I don't know. If they did a Nikke collab, that's a hard pass for me. Hey, Pisces Princess, thanks very much for dropping the resub. Tier 1, 14-month sub to the stream. Hopefully you're having a great day. Sorry, I'm like struggling to get my words out. But hopefully you're having a great day. Thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to be here. And hopefully we get some good stuff going for the stream tonight. Let's see, I'm so glad it's nice in Houston. It's cold, it was so cold last winter. Oh yeah, I guess it's still winter, huh? When does it properly become spring? It's sometime in March, right? Oh, and thanks very much to, how do I spell it? I feel like there's probably a good way of saying this, but I don't know how to say it. Thanks very much for dropping the follow. And Rek, thanks very much for dropping the follow as well. Maybe I just say the Jderia part? I could say that. Jderia? That first part I have no idea. U-Y. Like, what sound does that make? Ui? 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 Or maybe it's like uke? Like ukulele, maybe? Hard pass, huh? You don't like the girls? Nah. I don't think One Piece has that many waifus I like the design of. They do have great stories, though. Like, I love Nami's story. I like Robin a lot. If we're talking about designs from like my favorite waifu, quote-unquote, design from One Piece, I would say probably, like, Hancock, but I don't know. Like, in terms of what I pull for them in Nikke, because of their designs purely, it's like, nah, they'd have to be good characters. Again, not that I hate these characters or anything, it's just I don't get quite as excited for them as I would like a Rem or Rom, you know what I mean? I pull for Uta without question. Which one's Uta? Also, you what is the word? Oh yeah, I thought she was a movie character. I've seen a lot of One Piece film Red. I feel like if they ever did do a One Piece collab, you'd just get, what is it, Nami and Robin, probably. Doesn't quite have the moe style. Yeah, it's not very moe. Do you like Chunibyo? Like the anime or just like the concept of it? Cause do you mean like love Chunibyo and other delusions, or specifically just like Chunibyo characters? As far as I mean, I guess I could answer both. The anime, I haven't actually seen it. At some point, I wanted to see it because it's a very pretty looking show. I mean, it's done by KyoAni, and pretty much everything KyoAni makes is really pretty. So I wanted to watch it on that basis, like, oh, I just want to see a good looking show, you know? But yeah, I haven't actually sat down to actually get through it. There are special episodes she was in, but it's on the Blu-ray. Well, fair enough, fair enough. She uses music to fight, and I love the artist that sings for her. Oh, that's fair, that's fair. That reminds me, kind of random, but have you guys been seeing all of the anime, what is it? The anime McDonald's ads that they've been doing a lot of recently? I saw that they did one up on Twitter yesterday, where it's literally two people eating in like a nice peaceful restaurant, and it's playing a piano rendition of the Yoasobi Free Ren opening, the first one. And I was just like, what? It was literally like McDonald's posting on Twitter, hashtag Yoasobi, hashtag, you know, I'm loving it or whatever the fuck. And it's literally just the Free Ren opening, but in like a piano is it like a beautiful piano rendition. It's so good. It's like, damn, McDonald's are appealing to weebs. I get it. They're trying to make their money, but it's good. It's working. I don't know, man. They're doing some pretty cool stuff. I'll see if I can find the link for you guys. It shouldn't be that hard to find. It was like yesterday it was posted. Yeah, right here. Look at this. This right here. McDonald's Japan is just like, yo, you want to eat some McDonald's and listen to Free Ren? It's like, what? What do you mean? I just got my first overload gear. You have to gamble which effects you want with that. Yeah, unfortunately. So it's hard to get a character perfectly maxed out. There are tricks to doing it though. Like there are tricks to where let me structure this sentence in more proper English. There are a lot of tricks, like you can lock certain components, and therefore when you re-roll, you get to keep the attribute that you had. The best way to think about it is that with each line, there is a lower and lower chance of getting something new. So it's hard to get 3 attributes because that third line is very unlikely to get when you roll, for example. Thank you very much for dropping the follow. It's going to be a Karui Toge. Thanks very much for dropping the follow. Appreciate that, of course, and I hope you're having a great day. So basically, if you get a good attribute on the third line, you always lock it. 100%. You could always unlock it later and then re-roll the number, but let's say your framework looks something like, I don't know, charge speed, crit damage, so 2 very lacking qualities, right? Charge speed, crit damage, but then you have the attack at the bottom. Lock that no matter what value it's at, just lock it. And then when you re-roll the shitty qualities without re-rolling the good quality. It gets more expensive to do it that way. So you have to spend more of the custom mods, but it's 100% worth it. I've gotten my characters fairly optimized just by doing that over and over again. So like all of my best characters will have like a couple things locked if they ever hit the third line. Problem is McDonald's is just so expensive, I end up going to Costco instead. I love Costco, so very, very understandable. I like both, but yeah, McDonald's is getting to the point where it's a bit expensive these days. She there wants to support the anime movement. I'm of the firm belief that McDonald's, or just any real, how'd I put it? Any big multi-billion corporation doesn't actually care about us. So, as far as, you know, you should eat there to support anime, I mean, I guess you could if you really felt like it. I guess I would look at it like, I don't think McDonald's corporate really cares all that much about us, but they'll look at the numbers and they'll go whether or not, they'll think like whether or not we'll need to continue pandering, I guess, to those audiences will depend on how much money they give us. So if you want them to, you know, throw out more anime content, then I guess it makes sense. I eat McDonald's regardless because I like the taste. I don't know. I guess my statement was kind of a nothing statement, but is what it is. Basically, I'm saying, like, you know, you can eat whatever you want, whether or not McDonald's, or how do I put it? I guess you don't need to eat at McDonald's because the big company is saying, like, oh, we like weebs now. But at the same time, you know, if they do make more money during this time, I guess it would make sense that they might keep doing it. And they do put out some cool stuff, so fair enough. Although, I will say, this is McDonald's Japan in particular, albeit the American McDonald's is also doing a heavy push for weeb stuff as well, so. Hola, hey Kenart, how's it going? Hello, hello. Hopefully things are treating you nicely. Whenever I think of going to KFC to see the prices, I walk to the McDonald's at the other side instead. Yeah, understandable. Hair's always so perfect. You have a tutorial. I do on my YouTube channel. I do intend to redo it, because I do have just a better feel of how to, one, explain to people how I get it done, and two, I think I can make a better all-encompassing tutorial that also goes over the particular attributes that I give to anime hair when I draw it, right? So I'd like to script something like that out again. I do have a hair tutorial on YouTube. It is a bit old. I posted it like 5 years ago, and 5 years ago I was a much worse artist than I am now, so I guess take it with a grain of salt, but I guess that's kind of how it goes. Started gushing over Magical Girls today with a friend. This show is so stupid, I love it. It's great. It's, like I said, it's definitely not a show that has some, like, incredible writing, great narrative, good plot. It doesn't really have these things, but I would still recommend it to people because it's just a fun show. It doesn't take itself too seriously. But it's serious enough that they can get you to care in the moment. I don't know. I like it a lot. It does have some genuinely good moments to it. But yeah, don't go in expecting like, oh, this is the best written anime I've ever seen in my life. Just look at it like, oh, it's just a fun show. If you like fun shows, this one, again, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's got some fan servicey elements, so if that's your thing, it's there. Got great character designs. It's just a funny show in general too. I think it pretty much nails its comedy every time it tries. At least in my opinion, it does. Did you make the melody docu? I did, yeah, I did. If you guys want to check it out, by the way, it's up on the Vishojo store and on Cuddly Octopus. So if you want to get your hands on a Project Melody docu, then 100% you should check it out. I might be able to, let me see if I can pull up the link. There you go. If you guys want to purchase the Project Melody docu, it will be right there. It's $75, and I'm really happy with the way the design turned out. I'm really happy I got to do some work with Project Melody again. Subbed on YouTube, do you post all your streams there too? Recently, I have been live streaming to both Twitch and YouTube, so you can expect to see that stuff under the live tab. I plan to do more actual like YouTube video stuff as well. I do have a art tutorial planned out. It is specifically for line art in particular, since I feel like that's the thing that I understand best. So it would be the easiest to make a all-encompassing tutorial on that subject, if that makes any sense. But I do plan to do eye color, like coloring the eyes, or just drawing the eyes, hair, skin, and we'll figure it out past that. And then probably like little tips videos to help you improve your speed. Since, while I'm not the fastest artist ever, I've gotten a lot better speed-wise. You might not think it if you're watching the stream right now and you're like, Cap, you've been working on this piece for like a week straight. What the fuck are you talking about? And yes, but I've been doing other things off screen. I've been working pretty quickly on those, so. I'm hyped for the hair and skin, not gonna lie. Hopefully I can do some good stuff there. I think the skin tutorial will be a much easier one than the hair tutorial, because I do think hair is a little, or my knowledge on hair isn't as complete as I'd like it to be to make a tutorial on it. How would I put it? I don't know, I guess when it comes to my sort of intuitive feeling for when I'm drawing a piece, what do I struggle with most? It tends to be the hair, actually. It used to be the clothing, and while the clothing still isn't easy, I think it's gotten easier than hair, which is a bit weird, because I enjoy drawing hair more, by a pretty significant amount, too. So yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's a bit of a weird feeling to enjoy doing the hair more than the clothing, but to be better at drawing clothing than hair. But that's kind of the world I live in. At least at the moment. Hey, what's going on, Poke-chan? How's it going? Hopefully you're having a great day yourself. It's crazy how close fast food prices are to actual restaurant price. I don't think it used to be like that. Yeah, I mean, the price of everything are going up. The price of everything is going up, so it does suck, but yeah. I remember, like, just before the pandemic in, like, 2020, I could go to the grocery store. I know this isn't fast food related, but just prices in general going up related, I guess. But I would go to the grocery store and I'd pick up a one of those 12 packs of soda, and they used to be $3 each. And you could get like 3 for $5 with a good deal if it was on sale. Dude, each one of them is $8 now. From 3. They've more than doubled in price in 3 years. 4 years, I guess. 3.5. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Because I used to just walk out of the grocery store with just tons of like 12 packs of soda. Because like, why not? They're so cheap. Now it's like, oh man, I don't know if I ever want to buy a 12 pack of soda again. It's so expensive. Slept most of the day due to food coma. Well, it sounds like you had a nice meal. It's due California passed a law while the fast food workers have to be paid a minimum wage of $20. That was a long time ago. That was like back when I was working at Baskin Robbins. Like my second year of working at Baskin Robbins, I think they had passed that law. It was quite a while ago. That's recent this year. Maybe it was particular to LA. But in LA, the minimum wage has been $20 for a while. Oh no, it was $15, wasn't it? It was definitely 15, not 20. Yeah, never mind. You're right. Yeah, speaking on that whole, like, hair being difficult to draw thing, this is like one of those scenarios where I feel like I understand hair, and then there's just a fringe case that pops up, and I don't really know what I'm doing in these fringe cases. So on this piece, for example, the second I throw a hat on a character, I don't know how to shade around that hat. So this would be a fringe case that I'd probably want to study up on and figure out, like, why am I struggling so much on it. So it'd feel a bit weird to do a hair tutorial, like, oh, this is how you draw hair. Take it from a guy that has no idea how to draw it under this particular circumstance. You know what I mean? It would feel really weird and disingenuous. Still, it would suck that you get paid more being a fast food worker than being an artist. I've kind of been in that state for a while now. For the last, like, year and a half, 2 years, if I had stuck by Baskin Robbins and just kept scooping ice cream, I'd be making more money. Like, it's been a rough 2023 and 2022, 2023, 2024. It's been rough. That's why I want to make it, I mean, among a number of reasons, that's why I want to make it my goal to make at least 2K a month by the end of the year, which will be like a good start to things. Hopefully, move everything in the right direction. Yeah, I think right now what I'm making is like half of what I made working at Baskin-Robbins, which wasn't always the case. Like 2020 and 2021 were really good years by way of like, honestly, even 2018 and 2019. Basically from 2018, like the middle of 2018, like some August or something, all the way through to 2021, like the entire year, I was making a lot more money being an artist than I did at working at Baskin-Robbins. But from 2022 and onwards, it's been like I make half. Which, I mean, it's because of a number of factors. One of them being that minimum wage went up quite a bit. So, you know, Baskin-Robbins would have been a minimum wage job. And per hour, I think it would have made like 20 now or something. Well, I guess now, 20, it would have been like, what, 15? And then the particular job I was doing at Baskin-Robbins wasn't minimum wage, or wasn't supposed to be minimum wage. So in theory, had I gotten that all fixed up, I would have made like $5 over, and then minimum wage or something. Though granted, you don't draw that type of content, so you should be fine. Gumroad's an issue. Well, yeah, I don't use Gumroad, though. It does suck because I was considering using Gumroad, but I guess nothing really changes on my end of things. It does suck for the people that do use it more actively, though. Not consenting enough. I mean, that's been a rule there for ages. That's not anything new. I know a lot of people were talking about that one also on Twitter, but I think it's more the case of people just realized it was in the rules as opposed to, you know, anything that Patreon themselves have changed. Does that make any sense? But yeah, that has always been there. Maybe not always, but it's been there at least the last couple of years. So yeah, that controversy I wasn't too keen on keeping my finger on the pulse to, I guess. I do think the wording of the rule is really funny, though. Like, if you've read that Patreon rule that talks about content between consenting adults, they literally have a rule that's like, they don't authorize non-consenting adults, or content of non-consenting adults, but consensual non-consent is also not allowed. It's just like, okay. Fair enough. Even if you drop vanilla to Patreon, it might not be consenting enough. That's kind of always been the case, though. Patreon is always the type to just look at your work and just make like a, I don't know, make a gut feeling reaction to it? That's not what I mean to say. Ruling? But yeah, Patreon was always the type to like look at your work and then just randomly ban you if they deemed your characters didn't look old enough. Even though you're drawing anime. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's nothing too new on the Patreon side of things. Patreon's always been kind of iffy in those respects. Only a matter of time before a new platform pops up that does allow SFW and gets all the refugees. Maybe. I do know that, or I do think it would be a bit of a struggle setting up a new one, but it would be cool. I think one of the reasons these platforms are trying not to allow like more NSFW content is because PayPal's like threatening to pull their service from those websites. So if you set up a website like that, you pretty much wouldn't be able to let people with PayPal in, or who exclusively pay with PayPal in. You do art, but in a hot tub and bathing suit? Nah. like the thought, though. Makes me wonder how OnlyFans does it with their payment processing. Yeah, I don't know. I know that they had a problem with it for a while, though. Or wasn't it more like... How do I put it? Wasn't it like PayPal also threatened to do the same thing to OnlyFans? So then OnlyFans basically said no NSFW content, which caused a lot of people to leave the platform, and then they doubled back because they realized, like, oh, that's the only reason people are on this website. So, I don't know, maybe they just took it to the chin. Like, in the sense that, do they allow people to use PayPal to pay on OnlyFans? I actually have no idea. But yeah, maybe they just said, oh, it's not worth trying to appeal to PayPal, let's just stop doing it. I don't know. Could be totally wrong on that. I don't really pay that much attention. The chargeback rate on NSFW content is insane. The payment processors don't want to deal with that. Fair enough, fair enough. Buy coins so you're not using your money technically. Yeah, that could work. There's like the one level of obfuscation. Sorry, I feel like I need to constantly clear my mouth. Sorry, I'm like, I don't know, taking these long pauses in the middle of sentences. The fix for that is to not allow chargebacks on it. I don't know if that's the thing with credit cards. I have no idea how any of that would work. Maybe it'd work, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Let me grab a reference image. Okay. I guess I did her hair color all right. I was kind of worried that the hair color I chose wasn't quite exact, or wasn't all that accurate. I guess it looks okay. It's still kind of silly how Gumroad bragged that they made a ton of money yesterday, not knowing that most of the income from SFW artists are having a sale before nuking their content. Yeah, it does seem a little short-sighted. I didn't see that Gumroad was doing that, but that's a little rough. I don't know. I do hope they're in for a bit of a rude awakening then, if they're bragging about getting rid of the NSFW content on their website. It's gonna die slowly. That would be what I would assume. Well, okay. I do know there are plenty of people that use Gumroad outside of, you know, NSFW content. I don't know how big Gumroad is on the scale. Oh, how do I put it? In terms of Gumroad's base, I don't know how much of their user base is there for NSFW content, because I don't... How do I put it? Yeah, there are people who want to buy PSD files. Right. I guess it's not like... So what I'm saying is, I don't know how close it is to, say, an OnlyFans scenario, where people are pretty much only there for... Like let's just be real. People were there for the NSFW content. With Gumroad, I don't know how much of their content comes from NSFW creators and how much of it comes from just regular creators. You know what I mean? I feel like Gumroad isn't all that reliant on their NSFW side of things. So when all these artists leave Gumroad, I don't know if Gumroad really care. Like, are they a big enough website that they could deal with losing all those people? I feel like it's possible. Whereas, like, with OnlyFans, it was very obvious that they couldn't function without, you know, that side of things. I don't know if that makes any sense, but... Makes me wonder if I should cash out and buy all of Eve 3D's content. I can't say I'm familiar with Eve 3D. I mean, it's up to you at the end of the day. If you want to, I mean, go for it. The world's your oyster, nothing's stopping you. Let's grab all the flat colors. Set up a new multiply layer. I wanted to work on the hair because I still feel like the hair is maybe the weakest part of the piece as of right now, but I feel like it's getting to the point where I'm having a hard time seeing what's wrong, so might as well switch gears, do something else new for a bit, then we'll jump back in and hopefully have a better idea of what I'm looking for. Don't know if his Pixiv is linked there. So I see 3D in the name, right? So is this all like CG content or? I've seen SOW artists making 20K, and that's insane, all that money gone from Gumroad. Is that how much people were making on the month-to-month from Gumroad? That's kind of crazy. I mean, probably just the super huge artists, but still. Man, that would be nice. Slowly turning into the Shimonetta world where sexy stuff is demonetized and banned. Maybe. I can't say I've seen any Shimonetta, so... I've seen, like, clips, but that's about it. I think I understand the premise, though, where everyone's just, like, repressed. And so they act out to... I don't know. All I get is that you're not allowed to have, like, ecchi stuff, so... They have a group of people trying to spread the word of ecchi stuff, I guess. Has to sell stuff in a dark alley behind a car trunk. That would be a rough time. I don't know. One of these years I'll get into Anime Expo, and then maybe it'll all be better. Maybe. Although I think I have my goals set up pretty realistically. If I can get 2K a month by the end of the year, that'd be a good time. And hopefully a more consistent 2K at the end of the year. Because there was a time where I was making that, but it was pretty much all based off of gift subs and biddies. And I feel like that's just not a super consistent way of making money. It's very feast or famine, I guess you could say. So I feel like, at least with like with having like a Patreon or something, I could have like a more consistent source of income. Hopefully. Move into a place with a cheaper cost of living. I live with my parents. And I'm trying my best to pay a rent, and the rent's only $200 a month. It's not very much, and I still can't afford it consistently. That's how bad a situation I'm in right now. So, that's why I'm trying to make it my goal to make 2K a month by the end of the year. You're so real. No, I'm just very broke. Wasn't always this way. It's just the last few years. Just like me, for real. But yeah, so I just gotta get some stuff going, is all. Hopefully I can finish my the rest of my commission stuff for this month soon and get paid for all of that. So then I can pay off my credit card and then put a heavier focus on just more Twitter content, more Patreon content. Although I'm committing to every month I'm dedicating at least a week to Patreon stuff. So hopefully that'll work. That way I'll have like a couple of exclusive pieces. So again, more incentive for people to check out the Patreon. Live with family too, they're great, but I'd rather have my own place, of course. That's fair. Like, I don't mind living at, you know, my parents' house or anything. It's just, I don't know, I just want to make enough money that I can, like, not feel like a loser. You know? Because, like, what? I'm 27. I'm making less than minimum wage, and I have been for the last couple of years. You know what I mean? And while there was a point where things were looking pretty good back, like, during the pandemic, funnily enough, but it hasn't looked that good in a long time. Make sure they're consenting, they're sure. I think people are overblowing that aspect. You know what I mean? The whole, like, oh, Patreon, what is it, requires that you have a little sticker that shows that whoever you're drawing is consenting, you know what I mean? Like, that rule has just always been on Patreon. Or at least as far as I can remember. And I remember that was a big controversy a couple years ago, where people were like, what, we have to draw this now? This is ridiculous. And people just brought that same rule up and made basically the same controversy years after the fact. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't think anything changes. I know some people have been saying, like, oh, what if I made, like, a little seal? And then I just say, like, I put this as, like, a watermark in all my pieces. Like, oh, these two are consenting. It's like, you don't need to do that. You're fine. You're fine. Like, however you've been doing it, if it's been working, you're totally cool. I mean, I guess in that case, you'd be very, very safe. Doesn't seem super necessary, but... Check Discord DMs. Let's see. What's this? Oh, this is that that person's stuff, right? Got you. Yeah, it looks really nice. We got some nice looking stuff. Let's see. I think I caught everything. Yeah, it's crazy that we're already like halfway through the month, though. I mean, I guess it's good that time's flying by, at least in the sense that Mushoku Tensei comes out next season. You know, that's pretty hype. Same thing with Spice and Wolf. And at least with the release of Spice and Wolf, I'll have a lot to draw. So there's some good things happening. Hopefully I can, like I said though, finish all my commission work before the end of the month. Get paid for that. And then we'll see what happens, but... ReZero coming out soon? They haven't given a release date for Season 3 just yet. Unless you're referring to the Nikke collab, in which case it's coming next week. I woke up horribly today. There was a bumblebee in your bed? How did that happen? How did a bumblebee get in your bed? I mean, I know of, like, house wasps. So I've had, like, a house wasp, like, flying around before, and that was horrifying. Oh my god. Just, you're walking around your house, and if you know what a house wasp is, they're so much more terrifying than regular wasps. Like, regular wasps are already bad. They're already scary looking. A house wasp is... It looks like something out of a horror movie. How do I put it? without drawing a picture that's too detailed, because I hate bugs. Imagine like a regular wasp just has like, you know, your 3 insect body parts. A house wasp is giant. They're huge, and their body looks like this. It's like, what the fuck am I looking at? So yeah, I've woken up before and just been in my kitchen where all of a sudden a house wasp just comes towards me. And I'm like, what is that? What the fuck is that? And the worst part was, you guys have those windows with like bug screens that you can like open and close? So in the kitchen is where I saw it. And I like ran towards my room, came back, and I saw that the wasp was in that like the bug screen area with the open window. So I got the, I had the courage to walk up to it and close the window really fast on it. So I'm like, cool, it's trapped, awesome. And then I remember I was in someone's stream at the time, and I was like, yo, there's a wasp, like crazy looking wasp in my house, that's insane. And everyone's like, I don't believe you, because I said that I had captured it. And they're like, oh, take a picture, I want to see it. And I was like, okay, cool. And I went back to my kitchen to go look at the wasp so I could take a picture of it. It was gone. It wasn't there. It's like, where the fuck did it go? There's no hole in the bug in the bug screen, and it was just trapped in that tiny space between the bug screen and the window, but it wasn't there anymore. And I was just so fucking confused. But I didn't want to open it because, like, what if it was still there, just hiding, waiting for me to open it so it could murder my ass or something? Fucker was in my sheets. I changed sides and felt a sudden pain. Oh, did it sting you? That sucks. That's unfortunate. Man, whenever I think of bumblebees, I always think of, like, you know, kind of the happy-go-lucky kind of bee, you know? It's like, it's just a silly little guy. He's not gonna sting. I mean, I guess he was in your bed sheets and was probably looking at, you know, certain death anyway. So, maybe that's why, but yeah, that sucks. Stung me twice? I didn't even know a bumblebee could sting twice. I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, I remember I got stung by a bee. But, like, I don't know how it happened. I was in, like, God, what was it? I was at a friend's house, and I think they had one of those, like, inflatable slides that people, like, little kids get for their birthday. And it kind of had you slide into like a little bit of a ball pit. So I went on this like bouncy inflatable slide, went down the slide all the way to the ball pit at the bottom, and then I felt like a super sharp pain in my hand. So I looked over and there was just a bee hanging from my hand. So I guess it had stung me and I had crushed it at the same time. So it hurt like a motherfucker, but the bee was clearly dead. Like, so yeah, that was fun. Bumblebees can sting multiple times? I had no idea. What? Bumblebee propaganda. I mean, bees are generally pretty cool, but like, I used to have a bumblebee nest in my backyard. Not actively, we weren't like keeping it or anything, but they just decided to make a nest in our backyard and dug a hole in the ground and had their nest right there. So I remember that bumblebees used to be a really common sight at my house. And like, I mean, it was a little scary, but it was far enough away that I didn't mind it too much. I think we eventually got rid of it. And unfortunately, in the years since, if we ever have like a problem like that, it's always a wasp nest. Which is just so much worse. You know, when you look outside and there's just like 100 wasps and you're like, yeah, I'm not leaving the house today. Yeah, no, I'm stuck in here today. That's it. It hasn't happened in recent times since we've covered up all the holes that they like to make their nests in, but that was a rough time. Use gasoline. Yeah, we did something similar. Or by that I mean my dad like flamethrowered the fuck out of them or something. I don't know how he did it, because he did it without lighting our house on fire, our wooden house. But I don't know, he just lit it on fire and burned them to death. Now that I think about it, I don't know how he did it. Your dad sounds awesome. He is, he is. But yeah, I was thinking about it now. How did he do that? He was showing it to me one time. He used two instruments and it basically made a flamethrower. But like without the liquid stuff that catches on fire, right? He just, I don't know. It's like an air canister plus something else to light it. And then he just like burned it to death. There's also another thing he bought, which basically, it's like a foam, but like it's a foam that hardens, kind of like a Gorilla Glue type. And he just covered the nest with that. He's done that before. Axe body spray and a lighter. It's probably something like that. But yeah, I mean, he was... Every wasp nest we've ever had at the house, there have been like 6 or 7 of them he's been able to deal with. But yeah, the thing with like the gasoline wouldn't have worked on our house. Like the cup and gasoline. I've seen that before, where you take the cup with a little gasoline at the bottom, cover the nest, and then you just move it around. And then the bees can't fly over the gasoline, so they just fall into the water and die. Because of the position of the nest. Like, it was on the edge of the hinge of a roof. Always. So that wouldn't have been an option. If you can imagine, we have this, like, old wooden house. And if here's the roof, and then here's the wall, it's like here. So there's no way you could fit a cup, because they would just escape out the top. If you want to get rid of it easily, simply spray water on or near to get rid of them. I think the rain reaches it. They'll think the rain reached it and evacuate to a different place. That's interesting. Like I said, we haven't had an issue with it in a while. For a while it was a problem, but like a long time ago. Not so much anymore. Have I not even bothered to shade the thigh highs? Huh. Let me make sure I get the thigh high color right. Okay, it's pretty similar. Select all of this. Okay. Fuck wasps, a literal Satan spawn. Bees are cool, those can stay. Yeah, bees are pretty cool. Bees are cool dudes, they're nice and chill. But yeah, wasps are the assholes of nature. Wasps literally just kill bees for fun. Yeah, wasps are sadists. I hate it. They're the worst. So when we went from having bumblebee nests in our yards to wasps, yeah, that was not a good time. The one thing I do remember as a kid, despite being a little afraid of the bumblebees, they were kind of cute looking. Like, when they're flying around, they don't really look like a bug, they look like a flying cotton ball. That was, like, it took me years to look up a picture of an actual bumblebee, and I'm like, they don't look like that. What? That's not right. They're like cotton balls. But yeah, all I remember is that they just look like flying circles. But when I looked up a picture, like, they just look like really, really, really fat bees. Like, really obese bees. Which I guess is pretty accurate. But as a kid, I just remember flying cotton balls. Bees have a purpose. What do wasps contribute? Nothing. They kill everything in their path. Food for birds and minor flower population. Sounds about right. I don't know, would the world really be missing out if we just lost a couple of wasps, you know what I'm saying? Didn't Disney, like, wipe out the population of mosquitoes in their parks? Mosquitoes, wasps, they're like the same shit. If you can get rid of the mosquito population, everyone's totally cool with it. Just get rid of the wasp too. Same shit, really. I heard something about bees shouldn't be able to fly because they're fatties. I have no idea. I can't say I know enough. Fuck mosquitoes as well. I get stung every time. For some reason I don't get stung in Brazil though. Interesting. But yeah, fuck mosquitoes. I don't know when it started happening, but mosquitoes were like a rarity where I'm from, or where I'm at, I guess is the better way to say it. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, 2 years ago, we just started getting mosquitoes, and it's really infuriating. I hate mosquitoes with a burning passion. Every now and then I'm just drawing and then something passes by me, and I'm like, if it was a gnat that passed by me, I wouldn't really notice it. I'd see it for a split second and go, oh, that's weird. Or like, if it was a fly, like a big fly, it's like, oh, that's really annoying, but I can deal with that. I got a fly swatter, you know? When I see the fucking, when it slowly passes by my face, I'm like, god damn it, did it bite me? Where is it now? Do I have anything that can kill it? Like, I always keep something like this on my desk because of mosquitoes. This is a disinfectant mist that you can put on pretty much anything. But what I find it's amazing for is if you see a mosquito, you just grab this and spray it like a gun, and it just, it's awesome. They just fall out of the sky. It's great. So yeah, I always have this on my desk. Now, mosquitoes aren't so common in my house that, like, I would need to do that all the time. You know, I just keep this because I like having disinfectant mist. But this is like my what is it? My option against any pests that find their way into my room. If you live in a city and not near water, there's not many of them. When I lived in a city, I have my window open at 2 a.m., no problem. No way I can do that here. Yeah, I mean, like, I live in a city, and there's not like a, I don't know. I find it weird. Nice art, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you. How goes it? How goes it? Is it, how do I pronounce your name? It's just a bunch of consonants. M-H-N-S. How would you prefer me pronouncing your name, if you don't mind me asking? Clearly it's pronounced M-H-N-S-S. My bad, you right? Yo, thanks very much for dropping the sub, or the resub. That's gonna be Artsy Spectre, tier 1, 4 months up to the stream, in a row, 60 months up total. Thanks very much for sticking around, Artsy Spectre. How goes things on your end? What's up? What's up? I'm just working on the Matama piece. I know that's nothing too different or out there from the usual, but hopefully you're enjoying your day. I'm hoping we can finish this Matama piece tonight to post for tomorrow. Since we're not that far away from finishing this piece, obviously there are a lot of detail that still needs some polish, but like the vast majority of what I want is there. It's just the hair needs some tuning up. I need to drop in the streaks of aqua in her hair. I need to color in the mic. I need to polish the outfit, but like that's really it. So I'm thinking I probably spend tonight to work on this piece before I do, or to work on this piece and finish it, and then work on my commission stuff later tonight after that. I was on a barbecue by a lake and it was infested with so many mosquitoes. Thankfully, I don't live by a body of water. Fair enough, fair enough. Did my first ever stream today. Mega stressful. Been missing these streams though, so wanted to stop by tonight. I've never heard of this character. Where is she from? She's from Gushing Over Magical Girls. She is the like wannabe idol of the Enormita group, and I'm a huge fan. I love her so much. But yeah, as far as your first art stream, let's fucking go. And yeah, art streaming can be stressful at first, but once you get into the rhythm of it, it's not too bad. The hardest part is definitely, well, okay. Depending on what kind of art streamer you want to be, you can make your life really easy or really hard. You can be the kind of art streamer that goes online, doesn't say anything, and then just draws. Which would, I imagine would be fairly low stress. The most stressful part about that scenario would be the fact that you feel the need, or the, yeah, I guess you could say the need, to sit there and not do anything else and just draw the whole time. I think that would definitely be the hard part. But not too hard. I do think if you're trying to be an art streamer in the sense of like, does this sound self-aggrandizing when I say it? Let me know. But if you try to do the art stream like what I do, where I talk the whole time while drawing, it can be pretty hard depending on how much work you want to get done. If I'm doing a stream and I don't really care, like, oh, if I get work done, who cares? Like, just draw and talk. You know, then it's not too bad. If it's like, oh, I want to get work done, but I also want to talk to the stream at the same time, that is the nightmare scenario. When I stream, I don't intend to get that much work done. Maybe within the 3-hour point, like 30 minutes worth of work. Which sounds kind of pathetic, but it's really not a big deal since I draw off stream anyway. Also, thanks very much for dropping the follow. That is going to be, is it Pathpole? How do I say your name? Pathapple. Pathapple? Pathapple? Let me know how I should say your name. I think drawing while talking can make work faster, but depends. Maybe. In my experience, that's not the case, but I'm trying to think, like, what kind of person would you have to be in order for that to be the case? I'm sure there's, I don't know. Like, I know that there are some people who really like talking to their friends while they draw. I'm not one of those people. Like, I like sitting in a Discord server with other artists who are just drawing, but the second anyone starts talking, I stop drawing. So it's more that it feels more social, but I am definitely getting less work done. There's like no two ways around that. I'm trying to think of a scenario where I'd be faster while talking. I don't know if that would exist. But maybe that's just a me thing. You're more focused on people talking. Yeah, I don't want to like half-ass conversations with other people. I definitely do that, but like, I'm not intentionally. Like, I do that when I'm tired and it's like the end of a long day, where somebody says something I don't know how to answer and I don't feel like putting in too much effort, so I just give like kind of a whatever answer. I hate when I do that, but sometimes it's unavoidable. Want to see this sick Venom piece I'm doing? I think you'll like it. Yeah, sure. Damn, I need milk. I'm dehydrated. Ah, it's me and Nikke. I got you covered. Don't even worry about it. What's going on, Casual Cracker? How's it going? Hello. My God, you've come to the right place, my man. I don't want to do the shading here. Do you have 2 monitors? I've technically 3. How do you know someone follows because you can't see the alert in your main screen, right? Yeah, I've got YouTube chat over here, Twitch chat over here. I sometimes have my Streamlabs over here. I have my references over here, and then I'm drawing down here. And then whenever I'm not, streaming, I'll have references on this monitor, the whole monitor, and then I'll have like my YouTube video I'm watching on this monitor. I say watching, just listening to usually, and then I'll draw down here. I draw so good, so amazing at art. Oh, thank you. I mean, it's just years of experience, right? At the end of the day, I have a lot of time drawing. Like, I don't know what it would be in hours, but it'd probably be in the realm of like 10K-ish, which is still on the low side for art. Do you separate the blending tools with this paint tool? Or with the brush tool? Did you separate the blending tools with the brush tool? Did I separate? Are you able to reword it? I'm having a hard time understanding. Also, I see the Venom playing basketball. This is fun. I'll show this to the stream. That's cool. I like these basketball poses. They always have so much, they're always so dynamic. They're fun. I want to draw Nikke playing basketball because I think that'd be a cool outfit for her. And B, I just like characters playing basketball. Good lord, she's balling. It's true. It's true. God damn. What's going on, by the way, Todd? How's it hanging? Hello. Venom will never be balling? What do you mean? Look at the picture. He's balling. Let him go. You just start using CSP and having a hard time with the... Or, so I just started using CSP, and I'm having a hard time with the blending tool. I'm a side user before it. Okay. If you want my advice for how to use these tools, so here, I'll show you my settings. There we go. So these are my blend tool settings. You can see them on the left side there. So brush side is variable. I don't ever click on these tools, by the way. I think that this menu is kind of useless. Unless you're drawing with one hand, but I don't recommend that. You should probably be drawing with two if you can. Other than that, I set hardness to 100%, brush density to 100, and color stretch pretty low because I don't want the colors to blend too well together. Because the way I like to blend is a combination of the blend tool plus the blur tool. I believe that this is pretty default, right? But if you want to see that in action, let me open up a new canvas here. So if I'm trying to blend colors together, and I might start with a color like this before I move down to a color or something like there, and I always blend the two together. Whoops! I always blend the two together like this, and you can kind of see the brush strokes there, right? Sometimes I'll blend it out a little further with the same tool, so it's like a little harder to see the brush strokes. And then I go to the blur tool. So this is now the blur tool I'm using. I'll just blur that out so you can get this like nice gradient from one color to the next, right? And I just do that for everything. So if you're, maybe that's what you're referring to. Like maybe you're having a hard time with it because it feels a little too blocky or a little too harsh. In which case, I use a combination of the two tools together to get that like softer blend. Blend and blur? Yeah, I never exclusively use one or the other. I always use both. And so now, mind you, you could also do this approach, by the way, which doesn't even use the blend tool, but I'll show you why I do it the way that I do it, right? So let's go back to that exact same example. Here's our base color. Here is the color that we're blending to. And I'm going to copy this twice. Right? Let's move this over here. So what I said is you could use the blend tool, kind of blend it around a bit, and then blur it to get that same gradient. Or you can do what I've seen some people do, where you take the first color, take your airbrush, oops, wrong layer, there we go, and you can airbrush one color in, and then you grab the first color and you airbrush the other color in, and you just kind of go back and forth with this until you get a soft gradient. So what do I see as the difference between the two, or why do I prefer one method over the other? What I would say is that this is clearly faster, but this gives you a lot more control. So if you want to say, let's go back, right? So let's say you want to blend these, but you want a harsh line down the center. Well, I can say, oh, okay, so let's blend it. Oop, wrong layer. Whoops. It's like, oh, okay, well, I can, you know, blend it up one side. I can blur this side of it. But I can keep that harsh line the way I want it. I have a lot of control over what gets blended. But when I do it this way, the closest you can do is creating a selection between the two. And then, again, just kind of airbrushing it. I am on the wrong layer again. Kind of airbrushing it this way. Both methods work. And again, this method is faster. But it is harder to get the look that you want. Like right here, it's a little messy because my selection wasn't quite correct. And this is messy because of my because I was being a little too careless with how big the brush I was using was. It was a little too big. It was blending too much, right? But this gives me a greater control. I can even control how fast it blends out. Whereas this one, it's a little harder to do that. But again, faster. So take that for what you will. I like comfort. And then if I really need to finish a piece fast, I'll force myself to do that way. But Both methods work. Gotta go check my clip studio. My lord, I do have a blur tool. I've never even seen that. The blur tool is sick. If you use the blend tool, you should absolutely use the blur tool as well. Now, there are a lot of people that will also have their blend tool be a combination of the blur tool and the blend tool. I don't like doing that personally. It does do it in one step, but again, it's that lack of control that you have when you do it all at once. I like having more control. This song cap. This is Nikke song, isn't it? Yeah, Neverland. Add it to my playlist right now. It was a pretty solid song. I didn't get to hear it a lot during the winter event because I had my game muted for a lot of the winter event. Solely because their minigame was so time consuming. Loved it when the event came out. Yeah, I'm a little sad that I'm only hearing it now. Again, just because the winter event's minigame took eons to finish. It's easily my least favorite minigame in all of Nikke. So I'm glad that it's no longer around. But because of that, I ended up playing the game on mute more often than not during that one particular event. I usually play the game with sound on low, but for that one event, it was like, nah, I can't be listening to that. So I didn't even know that the music changed. Like, that visual novel minigame? Yeah, I did not like the visual novel minigame. It felt like a genuine waste of time. Which sucks because it had some cool aspects to it. It just needed to not take so long and had more and have gameplay. Because every other minigame had gameplay, it took like 2 minutes, you got your daily rewards, and it was a good time. The visual novel minigame took like, if you actually sat down and read every line of dialogue without skipping through it, a day's worth of content on that could be up to 30 minutes. 30 fucking minutes, dude. Now, mind you, I wouldn't mind 30 minutes if it was like Miracle of Goddess. The Miracle of Goddess minigame was really good. So it's like, yeah, 30 minutes, but I'm having fun in those 30 minutes. You know? But with that winter, like, visual novel thing, it was just a slog, man. I skipped most of the dialogue. I say skip. I read through it really quickly. So what I mean by I was like spamming, I was furiously spamming the button, but I was trying to figure out what they were saying. So I'd pick out like, you know, a couple of sentences as I sped through it. So I was never lost by way of the story. But yeah, again, not my favorite minigame. Kind of wish they'd done something else. I hope they don't do that ever again. Oh, by the way, while we're talking about tips, you know how I said I don't ever touch this side down here? Like, why would I need to know that a brush is 30 pixels big? The reason why is because if you hold Control and Alt, you can drag the size of your pen and change it as you go to whatever feels comfortable. This is not only faster, but it's just more elegant a solution than knowing like, oh, I need to draw with exactly a 3 pixel brush, or I need a 30 pixel brush to do this or that. Just go by feel. It's faster. What the fuck? Yeah, if you're drawing with a keyboard, you should absolutely be doing it. And that's something that I didn't do for a very long time. My first year and a half's worth of drawing, I never knew that. So I was drawing so slow because of it. And again, when it comes to drawing fast, it's just about optimization, finding out faster ways to do the same thing. I need to write that down. That one's pretty fast. It's just Control Alt and then you just drag with your pen. It works for every tool. So every tool that has like a pen size you can change. For example, today, or not today, but before I was learning that people use this selection tool thing that I've never touched in my life. And probably still will never touch. But yeah, you can change the size of this too. Just anything that has a size associated with it. As far as why don't I use the selection pen, if anyone's wondering, don't know if anyone cares. But It's just, I don't see it as ever being faster. I think the lasso tool will, in 100 out of 100 situations, be faster. And I've just drawn like that my whole life. I don't know why I'd have to go back to the selection tool, or the selection pen. Working on the Venom drawing, I realized something that will help me greatly, Cap. Well, two things. What's that? What's that? If bunnies weren't in it, I probably would have skipped it. Yeah, I was happy that they had the bunnies in it, because they were by far my favorite part of it, I guess. Facing mistakes early on is crucial. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Less thinking makes art way more fun and faster. Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. Yeah, I think those are two really good takeaways generally. Like whenever I'm thinking about, hey, thank you very much to Darkslayer for dropping the 200 biddies. I appreciate that. Thank you. What keys do you use to control the booba size? You can do that in your liquefy tool. If you use the liquefy tool and change, have it like expand your selection, you can actually change the size of a character's boobs really fast, like really fast. I can show you that as well if you want. But like, let's say here's the character's chest. I know it's a very shittily drawn torso, but whatever. You can kind of see it, I'm sure. So here's the character's like torso, leading down to their like hips and their pelvic region, and then your shoulders would be up here, right? So let's say on a separate layer when I'm sketching, I want to draw boobs, but I'm like, okay, yeah, there we go, boob 1 and boob 2, you know. And let's just say, you know, I like it, they look pretty good. But, oh, what's this? They're not big enough. Everyone's telling me, Cap, what are these? What are these? They're tiny. My god, man, what are you doing? You always draw big boobs. What you doing, bro? You can just go to your liquefy tool and hit the second tool here, which is expand, and you can just change the size here. And then you can use the first tool to move them back into place. You can also do this at the end of a drawing, if you want to make the drawing after the fact. You know, if you want to give the character, after you've already rendered everything, like a bigger chest, you can do this as well, but it's a little more finicky. So the earlier on in the process you can get it, and obviously if you can separate the layers even better, you can do that. I'm trying to draw some fire, and it turned out okay, but it looks a little realistic from the anime style. Do I keep it or not? That's up to you. I do think that you can get pretty realistic with particle effects in anime. You'd be surprised. Like, look at Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is, I think, the best example of this. You can have very realistic looking effects while still keeping and maintaining an anime style. I think the best example, if you want to see fire, is Demon Slayer Season 2's final fight. There's a lot of fire in those scenes, and it looks fairly realistic, actually. And, I mean, Demon Slayer doesn't have a realistic-looking art style, so I think you can easily get away with it. So don't worry about it so much, like, oh, it looks a little too realistic. Like, that's fine. You'd be surprised how open people are to stuff like that. Also, another one that has a good example would be, well, really any ufotable anime. Like Fate, same thing. Lots of, like, really realistic fire effects, but still looks good in the context of it being an anime. White Cheddar, thanks very much for dropping the follow. Hopefully you're having a great day. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name properly, but correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. What if that looks a little strange? Like maybe this should be a little lighter. Might look a bit better. Yeah, plenty of anime has realistic looking water. Anime loves its water. It's true, it's true. I heard boobs, so I stopped by. What's going on, Lucebo? How's it going? Hello, hello. Hopefully I didn't miss too much. My chat just like jumped back up to the top. I'm trying to draw some fire. Oh, I read that. Looks like we're good. Let's see. I think I caught everything. Kev, I have the weirdest like short dream. I had the weirdest like short dream that you dressed up as Bob Ross for Halloween for an art stream. It'd be strange. Got like an afro and everything. I don't know. I don't like that mental image. What else does he wear? Doesn't he just wear like a button-up shirt? I basically just have to get the afro and beard going on. I haven't dressed up at Halloween. Or haven't dressed up for Halloween in such a long time. Hell, the last time I dressed up for Halloween, I didn't actually dress up. I remember it was in high school. Might have been my junior year? And all I did is I bought colored contacts that matched Kurumi's heterochromia eyes from Day Day Live. That's all I did. And it scared the fuck out of everybody. It was so funny. Like, the number of people that would look at me and they just jumped. It was just like, what the fuck? Like, all... Because I think that none of them expected it. Because everyone else is all dressed up and this guy's just walking around in regular clothes. And then they're like, hey, Kev, what's up? I turn around like, hey, what's up? And then they see, like, the one yellow eye and the one red eye, and they're just like, holy shit, what the fuck am I looking at? I forgot I was wearing them one time, or during that day, and I went to... I think it was a dentist appointment. And they'd seen me from one side, my right eye, I think. And my right eye was the red one. And they're like, oh, cool, he's got, like, red-colored contacts. That looks really cool. And then I turned around, and you could see the yellow one, and there's like, whoa! Like, all the doctors just jumped back. It was probably the best, like, scariest Halloween costume for no reason. Like, I don't know. It really wasn't anything special other than I wore colored contacts, but... Just got a message. What's this? Oh, yeah. One of the Counter-Strike games I played recently, a guy on our team was like thinking he was the vigilante hero because he saw the other team was hacking, so he's like, no, now I turn on my rage hacks and you guys buy me guns. And then we're just like, fuck you, bro, get the fuck out of here. Nobody wants your hacking ass in our games. I'd rather both people lose. I hope that you lose your account, stuff like that, right? But he's like, no, we can win. We can win, guys. I have the hacks too. And it's like, no, I don't care. I want you to lose. I want you to lose at everything, including life. It was so funny. He was like, why don't you guys want to win? We can win, guys. And it's like, no, you don't understand. You're a piece of shit too. You're not some vigilante hero. You're not the Batman of the hacking world. You're just a fucking cheater. And nobody likes you. And the whole time, I'm just saying things like, people don't like you. Nobody wants you here. And he's like, I think people like me. It's just like, dude, what is he, like 5? He just kept saying stuff like that. Because every time I told him, like, nobody likes you, you're hacking, nobody likes hackers in these games. He's just like, my friends like me. And I'm like, no, genuinely, they're just putting up with you. I was just saying stuff like that to him. It made me happy. Because he was just so befuddled that I hated him. He couldn't process the fact that he was a hacker and therefore a low-life scumbag, and nobody likes him. He's like, no, people like me. No, people like me. It's just like, he had to convince himself that people actually liked his presence. When I can guarantee that if he's a hacker in Counter-Strike, nobody actually enjoys his presence. They deal with him. They put up with him in real life because they're forced to associate, I'm sure. But like, all that besides the point. He got banned today. Thank fucking God. Thank fucking God. But, dude, it was so bad. My friends and I tried to play Counter-Strike yesterday. There's the Premier mode, aka the one that doesn't have its own built-in anti-cheat, but, you know, you log in, you play, the games are pretty easy, and it's fine. Or we could play Face It. You have to, like, restart your computer, get your updates, launch with the Face It anti-cheat, and then you can play the game. And it's a little annoying to do that. Not to mention, we tend to lose a lot of Face It games, just in general. It's not a great time. Yesterday I dropped 53 kills and we still lost, and it felt bad. But it felt really bad. But what was it? We decided like, hey, let's just play Premiere. And the last time we played Premiere, we played 5 games. 4 of them had hackers, and 4 of them, and the last one in particular was the game I was just referring to, where the game had my 4 stacks, so me and my friends, me and 3 friends, and then all 6 other players in the servers were hacking, all 6, and they're all different groups. So we just happened to queue into a whole bunch of hackers all at the same time. So that was horrible. But we were like, you know what? Let's try it again. We played we queued into 1 game, and in the warm-up, or before we even connect to the server, our teammate goes, hack versus hack question mark. And we're just like, dude, if you're hacking, like, get the fuck out. Nobody likes you. Like, we're just gonna quit, and you're gonna eat a loss anyway. And he's just like, well, you might as well quit. It's like, fuck, this guy's a hacker too. So we queued 1 game and immediately got into a hacker. It's just like, dude, the hacking situation in Counter-Strike's just out of fucking control, man. I think in the last 10 games I've queued in CS2, specifically in matchmaking, not in Face It, but in matchmaking, I think it's like 7 of the 10 games had hackers in them. It's so fucking bad, man. Now, it's only at high elo. Once you're at high elo, that's the case, but fuck me. Valve needs to fix their shit, man. Because I don't like playing on Face It. The servers are always in, like, horrendous positions in the world. It's like, oh, you want to play Face It? Well, you know, have fun playing on 50 ping. It's like, can I get a server that's a little closer to me? No? Okay. Can I get a server that isn't, like, of a shitty quality? Oh, no. It's like, dude, their servers are so bad that Valve servers are better. Valve servers! We have a better connection and a more stable connection to Valve servers than the competitive third-party queuing system. It's like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. AI-based anti-cheat soon. I hope they figure it out. I genuinely do. Because I think that AI anti-cheat is the future. Like, you know, a lot of cheating programs just are so complex nowadays. And they're getting more complex as the day goes on. I think you do just need, like, AI anti-cheat to figure that shit out. What game we're talking about? Counter-Strike. Also to a Nip and Noob in the YouTube chat. Hello, how's your day? Or how's day? It's going pretty alright. Hopefully you're having a great day yourself. Let's see. What if his hack causes enemy hackers to disconnect? I mean, I don't know how they manage it, but at one point I had a cheater in my game that DDoSed me. Like, years ago. I don't know if that's even possible anymore. But I was just playing in the game, and he was on my team, so I was like shit-talking him, and then all of a sudden I couldn't play the game. And I couldn't watch any YouTube videos or anything. It could have just been coincidence, but he said he was gonna do it, and then all of a sudden my internet shit the bed. So I was like, okay, well, I believe him. Again, I don't know if that's still something people can do. This was so many years ago that, like, I'm sure internet companies don't let that stuff happen. Or maybe it was like a back door that they had access to that Valve fixed up, but luckily I don't think that's possible anymore. Otherwise, I feel like every cheater would just do that. This gives me vibes of, you dress badly, no I don't. I don't know, it's just, like I said, I hate hackers in my video games. I hope I genuinely hope the worst for them in their real life. Because I think that they're psychopaths. Or at least sociopaths. Or at the very least, they just don't have any empathy for anyone they're playing with. And they derive pleasure from other people's suffering. And I think that that makes them genuinely bad people. And because they're genuinely bad people, I only hope the genuine worst for them. That's all, you know. I think that makes sense. I think that's pretty fair. Evil. What's going on, Koopsie? How's it hanging? Hello, hello. But yeah, the one nice thing that came out of the, what was it? The one matchmaking game we queued last night, me and my friends, where we got the one cheater on our team, unfortunately, is that we abandoned the game and then surrendered, so the cheater lost. And the other team was really happy about it. They were very surprised that we went to that extent to make sure that we fucked over the hacker. So they were saying things like, holy shit, you guys are chads. Oh my god. So that was nice. Like I'm happy at least that the other team didn't have to suffer through a hacker game in that respect, and that they appreciated that we were willing to take the hit. Let's see. Hate feeders just as much. They're feeding, they're taking away actual victory, wasting my time by letting me win. Just boring. Yeah. That would be the equivalent of griefers. So yeah, in Counter-Strike, you get every now and then you queue into a game and the other team is just D-ranking. And yeah, those games are not fun. They're free wins, but at that, like, it doesn't really, like, who cares if it's a free win, essentially. Like, it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of everybody's time. Especially if they have teammates that want to win. Then they're just assholes on top of it all. I'm like a little bit more fine with it if they're in a lobby of people that are not cheating, sorry. A lobby of people that are griefing. Because then everyone's like in on it, you know, and they want to lose. That's like their thing. They get off on it somehow. That's more okay, but it's still a waste of time to the other team who queued in wanting to get an actual game, and then they're just forced to play this like fucking clown fiesta. But I'd rather that than a guy just randomly start throwing in the middle of an actual game when he has teammates that want to win. Free win, but is it really? I mean, it technically is, but is, yeah, I see the angle. What if everyone is a hacker? Even play. See, that's what everyone always says. Or that's what every hacker always does to justify why they hack. And it's so funny because they actually genuinely think that they're Batman. They think that they're out there, they're out there dishing out vigilante justice to an unfair, cruel world. But they don't realize is that they are literally the Joker. Like, they are him. That's the guy. That's the guy everyone hates. Thanks very much to A&R for dropping the tier 1 sub. Appreciate that. 46 months up to the stream. Long time to be supporting Fortnite. People think you're having a wonderful day yourself. What's up? What's up? I always talk about it, but there's that video that was put out on YouTube that talks about why kernel level anti-cheat isn't enough. And it's a genuinely good video. The problem is the person who made the video also admitted to being like a vigilante quote-unquote hacker. It's like, oh, I used to have hacks on my computer, and if I thought the other team was hacking, I'd turn on my hacks, and I'd try to win. It's just like, oh, so you're a piece of shit, and I shouldn't listen to you. Oh, okay, perfect. Perfect. I should just write you off as a human being, because you've admitted it. You've admitted it, I don't have to entertain anything you say. And it sucks because it's a good video, but the person who made it, I genuinely hope the worst for. I hope their life goes wrong in a number of ways. I really do. This rant again, it's a recurring thing in my life. That I'm playing Counter-Strike and there's a cheater in my game and it reminds me of this motherfucker. Because it's that mentality of no, you guys, you don't understand. I'm the hero. I'm the hero. It's like, no, you're not. You're simply not. Let's see. Come along, Nikke. Indeed. 46 years, goddamn. So many years of support. Sorry to go on like a massive rant about hackers and Counter-Strike. I just had to get it off my chest. As I always have to, of course. It was fun to listen to. Well, I'm glad. It's funny. In the past, I had always said, or like I would always, or not even always, hold on. Let me restructure this sentence. So what I told to you guys right there were my pure and genuine feelings, right? In the past, I used to exaggerate those a little bit. So what you heard wasn't an exaggeration. But in the past, I would exaggerate me being mad at people. And just, you know, play it up because I thought it was funny. And I was like, oh, I think it's funny and entertaining to listen to. And then one of my regulars at the time was just like, no, it's not, please stop. And so I was just like, oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. And then I stopped doing that. Eventually I started doing it again. Not like the exaggerated aspect, but me going on long rants. So at that point in time, I'd gone on a long rant. And he was not having it. He was not a fan. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll stop. It's only like years later I started getting back into like doing longer rants about things that are on my mind. I for sure understand. To me, it's more enjoyable ruining their experience in a game than how they always ruin everyone else's game. I can take a hit to my MMR for that. Yeah, like if there's a hacker on my team, I want to ruin his day. Who cares? Like if there are hackers on the other team, obviously I hope that they have a bad life as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, that doesn't change. But like, there's something special about being able to take in it. Like, okay, in a game where both teams have hackers on them, if I can deal at least my own bit of justice to the hacker on my team and make his day worse, that makes me happy. Because he's subhuman scum at that point. He's already stooped to that level. He's revoked his humanity card, and at that point, all's on the table. We're totally fine. I listened to Pippa's rant about ISPs 3 times this week. Is Pippa a streamer? It must be, right? Listening to rants is a big guilty pleasure of mine. I enjoy it too, low-key. I mean, it depends. I do think that I should probably make sure not to rant about the same thing too often. Since this is something that I've felt, now that I've watched more Tekken content creators, the more Tekken content I watch, the less open I am to hearing people rant about whatever characters they hate. In fact, it has gotten me to the point where I don't want to complain about characters in Tekken. Even though some characters are just, I mean, it's a fighting game. Characters will just be better and easier than others. Like, that's just the way that it goes. But I've heard so many rants about, oh, fuck this character, fuck that character, fuck all these characters. It's just like, I just want to be the guy that's happy. Like, I like FDX's content because he doesn't really rant about characters that he hates. Like, you can tell when he hates a character, but he doesn't make it super obvious. Like, you kind of have to listen for it and kind of get it from the subtext. And if I play Tekken or learn more Tekken, I want to be that guy. Where maybe I complain about the way the other guy is playing, but I don't want to complain about, like, oh, this character's unfair, they have better tools. Because, like, I could have chosen that character if I really wanted. There's nothing stopping me. Who cares, bruv? It's just a game, but at the same time, this person's ruining the entertainment free time. Let's see. This video? Pippa rants about her ISP for being slow. Ah. I'll give us a listen to. I do enjoy long rants about people that are very passionate about those subjects. Oh no, I got these. Oh god. Oh. Let's see. I think I caught everything. Oh. Let's go back to adding more to this layer. So last I was working on this part of the outfit, I was just adding like a more contrasty angle to it. So a lot of these areas don't quite look, how do I put it? They're not very contrasty relative to other areas of the drawing, like the skin, for example. So what I'm trying to add right now is that extra little bit of contrast. Oh, so also just to go on that like topic of ranting for one more second. One thing I do like about ranting on stream is like I actually feel that it wakes me up. Because sometimes, I don't know, there are plenty of times where I'm on stream and part of me is just kind of going through the motions because I'm really tired. When I rant, and I have to get into it to rant. I have to get angry. You know what I mean? I have to get worked up. And sometimes it's hard to get worked up when you're just like starting your day and you're like, fuck, can I just like wake up first? But if I'm in the middle of a rant, I wake up, get that blood pressure going because I'm just genuinely angry. And then once the rant is over, I just feel good. You know, you got it off my system, got it off my chest. I had to work myself up, so now I'm like fully awake. And now I can just keep on going. I can keep on trucking along, and that's a good time. That's a good feeling. Pippa is an unhinged VTuber whose sanity is actively dwindling, but that makes her all the more entertaining. I can relate. I can relate to the sanity bit. I forgot what I was talking about. Let's see what this layer looks like on and off. Okay, this layer's helping. You can kind of see out a distance. See how... Oh yeah, no, I'm going to leave it at just about this distance. You kind of see how this transition here, like you can see it, but relative to some of the contrast in these areas right here, up here even, perhaps even, you know, from this color of the hand to this color of the cup, I guess you could say. These are very harsh transitions in color, right? So when I look at this, it's not super well defined, but when I turn on this layer, I feel like you can see it immediately. Suddenly now, that extra little bit of contrast really does go a long ways. So I kind of like looking for that. So whenever I'm looking for areas to add new multiply layers to, just on the fringe by the line art, I always look for like where can the definition be, or where can we go from transition from one tone to the next very quickly, and how can that get the piece to pop out. So in this case, I think it makes her hips pop out, this area. And I think that's genuinely good for the piece, because then we're putting a heavier emphasis on the character rather than her clothing. I was losing my mind trying to set up Linux bullshit the other day, a few days ago. I wanted to make a 5-hour-long rant video. Yeah, contrast a bit low there. Yeah, so little things like this, you know, just finding those areas you can add contrast to, I think are important. I think the best way to do it is to zoom out the piece, just kind of look around, you know, like where does it look like the colors are kind of meshing into each other a little too much? Like if there was a harsher transition, would it pop more? And if it pops more, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Because you can do that for a background, let's say, but then now the background's gonna pop a little bit more than the character in the foreground. You might not want that. So one of my favorite YouTube videos is an 8-hour-long review of Morrowind. Is it like a ranty type review, or just in general, like, oh, it's just a regular 8-hour review? It reminds me of, I just finished a 5-hour video talking about Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and it was a pretty good review. I did find it interesting, though, because I was waiting to hear his review of the game's, like, ending, but then he kind of ends the video as if the ending didn't exist, and I thought that that was a bit strange. Apparently, some people in the comments were believing it to be some kind of ARG, so that's interesting. I don't know if you guys, if anyone here watches Metal Gear Solid YouTube. I've never even played Metal Gear Solid, so let me just put that out there. But I'm just so invested in the space for no reason. I think it was Metal Gear Solid 5 review. It was like by a guy like I'm Your Uncle or something. Ask Your Uncle. Yeah, 5 hours and 47 minutes as a review. It's called Metal Gear Solid 5 Sucks and I Love It. So it's just fun. Like I said, he doesn't really talk about the ending of the game, so because I really wanted to hear what his thoughts on it were, but fair enough. Maybe he will, what is the word? Maybe he'll add it as like an extra part when somebody solves the ARG or something. That's some interesting lore. It seems convoluted, but it's still grounded and makes sense. Makes more sense than a Kingdom Hearts game. Fair. Besides a few things, nanomachines, parasites. Yeah, true, true. The 8-hour Morrowind review is called Morrowind Analysis, a quick retrospective. Interesting. Okay, okay. Morrowind is that Elder Scrolls? No, wait. Elder Scrolls is Oblivion, and then Skyrim. Yeah, I was gonna ask, is that Elder Scrolls 3? But yeah, okay, it is. Interesting. Also, yeah, a quick retrospective is pretty funny. Political commentary is pretty spot on if you listen to the dialogue and cassette tapes. Yeah, Hideo Kojima games, generally they do a good job with... How do I put it? with coming up with a profound message, I guess. But it's always the way that that message is wrapped up where it's a little goofy. Or like a little too in your face. But, you know, obviously that doesn't stop the fact that the message itself is generally most of the time really well done. Like, the meme speech, as funny as it is that he's talking about memes before the context of how we use memes in current day. Obviously that speech is, like, really profound. But usually when it comes to Metal Gear Solid games, they're always... The theme is kind of... Again, it's in your face. Minus, like, Metal Gear Solid 5, where apparently it was so obtuse that people had a genuinely hard time of figuring out what Hideo Kojima was trying to say. Which I think is funny, because all these other games are a little too in your face with their message. So for the 5th game, he's like 2 hands off. He's just like, no, you figure it out. And people struggle to do that. So... let's see. Worth the watch in my opinion, 7 hours, 41 minutes long. I could probably give it a go. Why not? It predicts modern time with the whole net censorship and information control. Yeah. 5 was bad when it comes to the story. It's interesting. It has so many bad and good aspects to it. Yeah, the gameplay, as far as I understand, is the best of the Metal Gear games by a long shot. With a lot of the missions being kind of... What is the word? Good sandboxes, but generally not the most well-written or anything. I guess that's the way I would put it. But yeah, I like how Metal Gear Solid 5... Or at least I liked when I was listening to one person cover Metal Gear Solid 5 and what he had to say about what the story is trying to tell you. But yeah, it does seem like a game that a lot of people do struggle to figure out what Hideo Kojima was trying to say, other than, you know, the whole obvious stuff with Ishmael being the character's name. What was it, Ishmael, and Moby Dick references? I don't know. Stuff like that. Also, thanks very much for dropping the follow. Devirus Hash? Devirus? Thanks very much for dropping the follow. Let me know how to pronounce your name, but I appreciate you being here. So you're that anime artist who had a beginner cat girl phase, but then instead of getting over it, you became great at drawing it. Love the dedication. Yo, I appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, cat girls are the reason I started drawing. My profile picture on Twitch is Chocolate and Vanilla from Nekopara, because like that is the game that really got me to consider art as like an avenue for where I could take my future, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I've always loved the aesthetic of cat girls. It's always been my thing. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's adorable. So I'm glad that it's not something I've quote unquote like grown out of or anything. It's just I think cat girls are just the cutest type of character. Does anyone really get over cat girls? I don't know. Maybe. There was an implication in the way that the sentence was structured. Hideo Kojima tries to tackle a revenge story, but it does it poorly. Oh, that's fair, that's fair. Lots of its narrative are in the cassette tapes, and there's some messages there. The cutscenes based story are sure lackluster. Yeah. From what I've heard, it's really clumsy with the way it delivers a lot of its messaging. Not to say that that doesn't apply to other Metal Gear Solid games, but it's like clumsy in the opposite way. Whereas other Metal Gear Solid games are too hands-on, it's too hands-off. So a lot of cutscenes are just weird and obtuse for no reason. As far as I can tell. I say this as somebody who's only watched people talk about these games for like 30 to 50 hours, but I've never touched the games myself. But what I love is when you go to Metal Gear Solid 1, dude, the dialogue in that game is so fucking funny, unintentionally, because you just have Snake repeating everything that he hears. So a lot of the time somebody will say something somewhat surprising, and he'll just repeat it in the most befuddled voice of all time. And so many of those quotes talk about this concept of love, but it's not just love. It's love on the battlefield. So every fucking person just start talking about, can love really sprout on the battlefield? It's like, no, love cannot sprout on the battlefield. We're on the battlefield. This is war. There is no love here. And then like 2 seconds later, there's like another fucking cutscene. And then here comes Snake. Maybe love really can sprout on the battlefield. It's just like, fucking shut up. Just shut the fuck up, Snake. Please stop. Please stop. It's too funny. It's dude, that game's cutscenes are fucking gold at that. It's just like, gee, tell me what the theme of your game is, but don't let me figure it out. No, 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 no. Tell it to me. Very obviously and very clearly, constantly. And that is every cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 1. It's just so funny, dude. Metal Gear Solid 1 was more of a B-grade movie, but it was fun. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Let's see, what if cat girls act like real cats and just ignore you and hate you? Nah, real cats aren't like that. Mimi is adorable. Honestly, she just wants constant attention these days. And there was a time where she used to clock out for the day, where like you'd pet her for like 5 minutes, and then she'd be like, yep, done, and I'm off now, don't pet me anymore. But like, nowadays, she just kind of wants you to pet her for like, what feels like hours. She's become more dog-like in that regard. That's all you get, mortal. That's definitely the way it was before. But maybe it has to do with the fact that we don't see her as often because she lives in the garage as opposed to in the house because Roxas doesn't like her. But yeah, whenever we're out in the garage, she's just... The second we like sit down to work out, she just like jumps up on her lap and just tries to sleep on her lap. It's kind of great. Metal Gear Solid 4, the way how Solid Snake moves is really tactical. Or it kind of became that way somewhat with Metal Gear Solid 2, where they start to take the military thing more seriously. That makes sense. Let's see. Also, that awkward Jeep ride, words that kill. I assume, is that with Skullface? That's the only Jeep ride I can think of. Yeah, with Skullface. I've never sat down to watch that cutscene, but everyone puts it in their videos. So I've seen the cutscene, like what it looks like, but I don't know what goes on in it, if that makes any sense. I don't even know how they get in the Jeep, you know, how they both get in the Jeep together. I assume that Skullface gets captured and that's why they're riding together. Otherwise, I have no idea. It's explaining his grand plan and cuts the music for a few minutes, and then he completes his scheme explanation near the base. No, quite the opposite. Oh, so he captures you. I guess that also makes sense, to be fair. But yeah, what I usually hear people say about Skullface is that, like, the things that he does in the campaign are abhorrent, but, like, he himself is kind of forgettable. So there's this, like, disconnect between you wanting revenge on him for what he's done versus, like, the character he actually is. Because the character he actually is quite boring. He doesn't get much screen time. I've heard that, too. And another video pointed out that you also, despite the fact that he's not showing up all that frequently, it's very obvious when he's about to show up because they credit him at the start of every mission whenever he's there. So it's just a massive spoiler, like you're about to see one of the main bad guys. This is a very important mission. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. Don't let it be a surprise. Let's see. Most of the missions you're messing around with the Soviet Union Army in Afghanistan, PMC groups in Africa. Yeah, that makes sense. Hardly do much with Skullface's private military till near the end. Yeah, that makes sense. Or it makes sense that that's how it goes down. Yeah, it seems like such an interesting game. Part of me wishes that I was into Metal Gear Solid and played it. Because it feels like it'd be a fun game to just kind of sit down and vibe out to a bit. It's a bit of a shame. Yeah, it seems like most people were disappointed with it. I do think it's got some cool messaging, though. That being said, I haven't played the game, so I'm just assuming that what some of the reviewers I've heard talk about it, I'm just assuming that what they're saying was always the intention. But it seems like it must be. Metal Gear Rising Attack and Slash? Maybe. I don't know if... when it comes to games that I like competitive games. So there's no player versus player, high skill ceiling aspect of that game. Thanks very much, by the way, to Sneaky Socks. Thanks very much for the follow. Hopefully you're having a great day. Like, when you hear the games that I like to play, it's like Counter-Strike, Super Smash Bros. Melee, Tekken. Like, these are like my favorite games. You know what I mean? I don't really play much outside of that. Not sure if it's a budget issue because of Konami, or it could just be the Kojima direction and priorities. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, howdy, I am new, but I love your art. Your shading's amazing. Well, thank you. I have a strange question that may just be me, or how do you stay on one drawing project at a time? I don't know if it's burnout or what, but I lose focus midway through the line art. I totally get that, by the way. I 100% get that. As far as how I stay focused, I mean, there's a little bit of a pressure to post to social media, so I need something every, like, week if I can get it. So that's one way I'm able to stay on top of it, just keeping a social media presence, like, kind of forces me to post on a very regular basis. And streaming is another thing. It kind of forces me to work through the piece no matter what, you know? But, other than that, how do I stay on one drawing project at a time? I do try my best to speed through pieces, because the faster I work on a piece, the more inclined I am to want to see it through to the end. Like, let's say I take one piece and I just really stretch it out over the course of a month. I get bored of it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I've seen this already. Let me move on to something new. And, like, let's say you're an artist on the newer side. Not to say, like, bad or anything, just on the newer side. You probably don't have, like, a super streamlined process or a super streamlined way of doing things yet. So your projects are just naturally going to take longer, right? And if they take longer, you're forced to sit there and look at the same piece for a longer and longer period of time. And, you know, it just comes to a point where it's like, well, fuck, I'm already bored of this. Can I just work on the next thing? And I totally understand that. What you can do is you can set timers for yourself. Like, finish the art in this amount of time. That way you can guarantee, like, by the end of it, you're not going to be bored. Because you know that the maximum amount of time you've allotted yourself is the time where you still like the piece. And you can adjust that timer as you go, and once you get a good feel for how long you can work on a piece before it starts to get boring. But, you know, maybe that's one way you go about it. I mean, having a pressure, like I answered earlier, posting to social media and feeling the need to post to social media kind of is this, like, natural pressure that helps me complete pieces, I guess. So maybe that's something that could be helpful on your end as well. If you keep, you know, to constant social media posting, it'll get you to draw on a fairly regular basis and complete those drawings on a fairly regular basis. So I hope that those things help. Also, really quickly, I'm just going to use the restroom. Give me, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes or so. I'll also see if I can grab some drinks. I actually realized I was out of soda in the mini fridge, so I might grab some more in the other room. There you go. So I will be right back. Oh, that is a good idea, and thank you. I'm also sure if you rush your art, it will still be beautiful. Thank you, thank you. I try these days, like, if I, what is the word? I try to set, like, realistic goals for how fast I can complete a piece, but it's gone pretty well. My fastest piece is the one I just posted to Twitter, the Goat-chan piece, which I did for Narane's birthday. I essentially drew his OC from a really simple pose that didn't require a lot of rendering. But I'm really proud of that one. It took about 3 hours to finish. And I gave myself a timer for 2 hours because I wanted to finish it in 2, and then I didn't. But I'm getting faster. So that was, like, my probably most rushed piece of all time, and yet it still turned out pretty well, with the caveat that she was barely wearing clothing, and it was mostly a piece with skin, and it was a close-up, so I didn't have to draw very much. But I will be right back. Just give me a little bit. I'm back. Gonna get ready yourself. Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. Appreciate you being here, Raw Green. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your night, and hopefully I can see you very soon. Let's see. Not sure if it's a budget issue. Oh, already read that. Thoughts on gushing over anime girls? You mean gushing over magical girls or just animated girls in general? As far as the show that I'm drawing from, I mean, I really like the show. I really like the manga. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be drawing characters from it if I didn't enjoy them. At least I'm not the kind of artist that can easily do that, if that makes any sense. Like, I know plenty of people who, they can just sit down and draw characters they don't really care much about on the basis that they're popular. They can kind of get that done. I suck at that. I'm very, very bad at that, so... Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to me, I kind of have to care about the characters to draw them. I say unfortunately because, like, God, it'd just be so easy to grow as an artist if you were the kind of person that didn't really care about how you feel about each character, if that makes any sense. Like, I have to care about the character to want to draw them, but, like, let's say I was the person who didn't care. I could just draw the most popular characters and then hopefully get a lot of engagement that way, but nah. It's hard to be motivated to draw if you don't care. I know people that are really good at forcing it regardless, but yeah. I wish I were them in the sense that, like, dude, I could get so much work done. But I do have to wake up super motivated. Dear God, I'm alone at home. I forgot that I had this tab open. Yo, how do I pronounce your name, by the way? Jihadi. Jihadiox. How's it going? How's it going? You'll get burnt out that way. Yeah, but I mean, I will, right? But somebody who's really good at it might not. Somebody who's really good at just knows the grindstone work, even if they don't care for the work. I do envy that. I have a random question. If you could make your own anime and have complete control over it, what would be the plot or the main idea? I'm curious of what the chat would make as well. I mean, I would love to make a series involving my two OC characters, Itsumi and Nekomiya. I've always had the setup for what I imagine their stories to be. Would essentially be like, I don't know, it'd just be like a really ecchi anime with some hopefully good moments here and there sprinkled throughout. Where like Itsumi is this girl right here, the blue-haired cat girl. It's kind of reserved in her shell, doesn't really want to, not the type of person to rock the boat, I guess you could say. And then Nekomiya kind of comes in and tries to support her in all her like romantic interests and whatnot, while at the same time having a scenario that has the two of them have some fun time together, you know? Our favorite girl. Why would she? I don't think she'd qualify. Why would she qualify? Because isn't that when you're dependent? I mean, I don't know. Would that count? I guess it might. Well, shit. God, that phrase just sounds so negative, man. It's like, no, I don't want her to fail. No, she's great. Don't fail her. Why would you do that? She's almost 10 to 10. Oh, my OL rolls for 2B are fucking booty crumbs. But she's almost 10 to 10. No, it's good. Good damage at least. I left my 2B at 777. And yeah, it's a bit rough. Yeah, I have some ideas on how I'd have the plot to this like series go. It would definitely be more of like a Dojin-esque thing, but I'm gonna do my best. What is this layer? What does this do? Oh, it's on the hat. Okay, it's up here. But yeah, I definitely still want to make that kind of a series. So apologies if I've left like explanations kind of simple. But yeah, I still want to tell their story even if, you know, I'm years removed from when I was trying to initially do it. But I think that with the way that I'm trying to do everything now, with a heavier emphasis on the Patreon, I can kind of tell their story in little bite-sized chunks. Which will hopefully be good. My username comes from a mecha from the game zone of the Enders. Game Zone of the Enders. I can't say I'm familiar with that. Is that a video game? Kind of sounds like a novel almost. Question, how do I turn off the effect of a brush where every new stroke adds a layer of darker color on top? How do I turn off the effect of a brush where every new stroke? So that's your opacity, right? So you'd have to click on this button right here. Or not this one, this one. So brush density, and you'd want it to not vary. So right here, this little symbol means that it varies via pen pressure. So what that'll equate to is when I'm drawing, if I press really hard, I get a 100% opacity line, but if I press really lightly, I get less than that, right? And then if I draw over it again, it gets darker and darker and darker as you get closer and closer to 100% opacity, right? You would just want something that doesn't vary by opacity, that's all. And again, the way you would do that is just you click on this little button and then untick the box that says pen pressure. Thank you as well for dropping the raid. That's going to be Mushu. Yo, thanks very much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Let's see if I can get you a shout out. Actually, beat me to it. Please make sure you guys are stopping by and saying hello. And how goes it? How'd your stream go? Oh, thanks very much for dropping the follow to Muzir98. Thanks very much for dropping the follow. And McWhopper, thanks very much for dropping the follow as well. Appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Do not worry, I like hearing about people's creations and ideas because I love seeing artists talk about their OCs or passions. Very cute. Well, I feel it, I feel it. I enjoy hearing people talk about their OCs too, though I'm very mindful of like how it sounds. Because I know to, you know, the wrong person it might sound, for lack of a better term, kind of cringe, I guess. I don't know. So I try to be mindful and not talk about it too much. Plus, I want it to be a surprise when I actually get around to drawing those stories, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I'd like to draw those stories. Rose Shadow and Musa Breeze? Musa Breeze? I don't know how to say your name, I'm struggling. There are a couple of different ways I could say it. Sessa Cease? Musa, thanks very much for dropping the follow, I appreciate that. Let me know how to pronounce your name, I'd like to not butcher it if I am capable, but thanks very much for being here. You know, she asked, but Pepper's, she smells good without perfume, and her advice is kind of creepy to say. I guess. I don't know, you could be talking about her shampoo or something. Cap, I require your Danburu knowledge again. Yeah, sure. I like how people make Sonic OCs with a big summary of their backstory, likes and hates, and so... Yeah, so I look at it like, I'm sure that some people will hear me talk about Itsumi and Ekomiya, and then they'll just see that, like, oh, people are talking about their Sonic OC. They'll see it in that kind of light. So, again, I try to be mindful and I try to keep it short. I try not to go too much into the details. Let's see. What do you call that one pose where people imitate bunny ears? I think it's... Let me double check. Let me double check. My brain goes immediately to rabbit pose. Yeah, it's rabbit pose. I was gonna say I've seen this tag, but I've never personally looked into it. But yeah, you're talking about the one where they take their hands and they put it above their head. Yeah, that's rabbit pose. I think that caught everything. It's been such a long time since I've had Ghost Energy. I forgot, these ones are so strong, it's hard to, like, chug them, I guess. One thing about the monster, like the orange monsters, and the reason I drink it, is because it's easy to just drink at any point in the day. I mean, obviously you don't want to be drinking energy drink too late in the day, but it's just such a pleasant and easy to drink flavor. With these, they taste great, but my god, they're so strong. I can't imagine chugging a can like this. It would probably hurt more than anything. Like caramel dancing? Yeah. That'd be like the girls doing the cat ear, or the bunny ear pose. Okay. There we go. It's Reese's like the chocolate. Reese's like the chocolate peanut butter cup, but I don't want to get copyrighted, so I put a B. So Breeses. So is it Musa Breeses? Musa Breeses? Let me know if I'm saying that properly. Another Tia and Isabel from a 10 pull. Not bad, not bad. We especially take the Tia for the combat power. Man, I'm so close to getting, what is it? One more 10 pull? Or not one more 10 pull, sorry. One more 2 SSR mold pull? It's always exciting to build up like 100 SSR molds and then pull them both at the same time. And hell, the last 2 times I did it, I managed to get 2 Toves, 1 Leona, and one of the characters I was missing, Moran. So like I've had a pretty good haul these last couple of times. So who knows? Maybe I'm in for like a disappointment. Maybe I get 2 SRs and I just cry. But got kind of bent over by the D banner. Not from Loco. I just don't have the gems. Wait, don't you have the campaign? The campaign has a fuck ton of gems. You still haven't done the campaign, right? Or at least last I checked, which was honestly kind of a while ago. I'm working through it. Okay. Because you should have some subquests at the end, which give you a ton of gems. You at least want 1 copy of D 100%. 1 copy of D would be a really good time. And you really don't need any more than just the 1 copy. But the 1 copy is so important because of that, what is it? Because of the cooldown reduction. Like, she is a must. Especially since you don't have, Summer Helm, who's the other must-have CDR reduction unit. Although, I would say that D probably takes her place. In all bosses except the weak to iron ones. $700 gems left. Unfortunately, I'm able to pass for this one because of the next event. Or I'm gonna pass for this event because of the next event. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. It's been like a year since the last cooldown reduce. Or burst 1 cooldown reducer. Yeah, it almost has been, right? Because Dorothy was the last one. So, I mean, that event, the 6-month anniversary is coming up in May, right? So we have the collab event, the ReZero one that's coming out, and then we'll have 1 more event before the 6-month. I kind of wonder which pilgrim they're giving us. I don't think they'll give us a new pilgrim, so I'm wondering if it's like gonna be Crown or something. I could see it. Or who's the other girl? Crown and her subject, her knight. Give us a Dorothy rerun? They definitely will. Like, so the reason I say that is because they gave us a rerun of Modernia during the New Year event. And if they're willing to do that, they're 100% going to do it on Dorothy too. I don't see a universe where they don't do that. I have 300 pity, I believe. You got it. But yeah, they're 100% rerunning it. I would have said there's no way if we didn't see Modernia get a rerun. But because she got her rerun, there's no way they don't rerun Dorothy. Although, like, I don't know what the difference would be as far as, like, why would they say no rerun on her, but we're gonna rerun on the other girl? It doesn't really make sense. They better be mid at best. I cannot be using my resources on them. My guess is that I'm hoping that they'll be in the realm of like 2B. But not like 2B now. How do I put it? I'm hoping they are better than the Nier units, but in the same relative spot as the Nier units were when they released. Like, you know how the Nier units, when they came out, they were good, but they weren't top tier? They were just like, oh, you know, in solo raid, I would use them. Like, occasionally. I hope that they're in that space. That would be ideal. Because you don't want limited units to be super strong. Because then it just feels bad if you're like a new player to the game. It's like, oh, I can't get these units anymore? Fucking sick. Fucking sick. Who thought that this was a good idea, right? So I'm really hoping that they don't make them super meta. But I hope that they're good enough that they're usable and not dog shit like the Chainsaw Man characters. Because then there's like no reason to pull for them, you know? Oh. Ron will be the first meta SR unit SSS tier. Well, if we're being fair, Neve is not bad as an SR unit, and Honest is really good. Honest is like viable deep into the campaign because of her burst energy generation. Not that she's your best choice, she's just a worse Senti, but a worse Senti is still a pretty good unit. And obviously these days, actually, now that I think about it, Senti's not even meta, so... Maybe saying that Honest is super meta, or is a fairly meta choice for your burst 2 isn't the most honest. Since it really just looks like, oh, if you're using a burst 2, it better be Naga or it better be Blanc. It's one of the two. Because your burst 1s are going to look like Tia. Well, I guess Noir's burst 3, but still. You're either going to be using schoolgirls or you're going to be using bunnies. Let's just be real. There's still a reason if you're a fan. There are people who play gacha. I mean, yeah, reason for me. That's what I mean to say. Perhaps I'm losing my marbles. What brush are you using? Default brush? This is the darker pencil. Which it used to be, like, the darker pencil used to be a default brush, but I think, according to Plo, it's not default anymore. They actually removed it. That being said, you can still download it on their official store, but it doesn't come prepackaged with the program anymore. And when I say download it, it is free. You don't have to pay for it or anything. Let me see if I can find the page. Here we go. Clip Studio assets. Yeah, okay, these tools are where you download them. If you want my particular iteration, because I have made my own adjustments to the pen. If you want to see that, if you're in my Discord, go to the Art Resources channel, and it's pinned there. So that way, if you want the exact same tool I'm using, it's Darker Pencil and Darker Pencil 2. Darker Pencil 2 I use for, what is it? I use for line art, and Darker Pencil I use for everything. Line art, shading, what have you. You're saying thank you. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Can't wait to see their kits. I want to know how much I'm pulling for them. Yeah, I want to see. I'm excited to see what their kits look like. Hopefully they're, like I said, on the fringe of meta. Not meta, but not far off. That's the goal. If Shipped Up can nail that, that would be a good time. I don't know if I should make her dress shine like this. I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can make her little skirt, or like her pencil skirt that she's wearing, be a bit brighter in these areas, but... That might make it look too shiny. Which might look a bit strange. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. It's kind of subtle. Not gonna lie, probably just gonna pull one Amelia then call it, unless she's hella broken. I'm not crazy about her. Fair enough, fair enough. I think I'm because the 6-month anniversary event's coming up, I don't want to pull more than I have to, So I'll probably also do the same. Just pull 1 copy, unless they're meta enough to justify more. If I can justify pulling, like, 3 copies of each, then I might. For, like, the stream, tax write-off or something. But if they're not super meta, I probably won't bother with it. Rem, I'm most likely going to shoot for max limit break, but we'll see if the Nikke gods are kind to me. I will say it's looking promising for Rem. The way they set up Amelia does make her look a little bit more like a healer. And I say that purely off of conjecture with no actual proof. Just the fact that she uses a staff and Rapunzel has a staff. So clearly she's a healer. Must be. She does that in the show as well, so it actually would make perfect sense. But I mean, Rem getting a giant machine gun is good because that is the best weapon in the game. Its one drawback is the fact that reloads are bad, and really that's it. Just reloading takes a fuck ton of time, and it takes a while to ramp up your bullets, your, what do you call it, your attack speed. But when you consider that, with Rem, or sorry, if you consider that with the machine gun, there are overloads in the game that allow you to get more ammo in your gun, aka you shoot for longer, you don't need to reload as often. There are so many ways to make the machine gun better via just the mechanics in the game itself. She's pretty much going to be viable, at least on that basis. The problem then becomes her skills need to be good enough to justify putting her into a team. Because just because, say, Summer Neon has a machine gun doesn't make her the most viable unit, you know what I mean? The numbers on her kit are really bad. I wish Shift Up would stop making machine gun units. That class is so goddamn saturated now. Yeah, I kind of wish they would stop too. Because the more machine gun units in the game that are viable, the more Soline gets pushed out of viability. And I really like Soline. So please stop doing that Shift Up. At the very least, though, the treasure system will hopefully bring her back up. Also, thanks very much for the follow. It's going to be Spooky Nocturne. I know you've been talking in the chat for a little bit, so hopefully you've been enjoying your stay. I'm asleep. It's 3 AM where I am. Hopefully I can catch another one of your streams. Oh, thank you. Hopefully I can see you on the next one as well. We will be streaming tomorrow night, so no worries there. Hope you have a good stream, and good night, everyone. Hey, thanks very much for being here. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your night, and hopefully I can see you very soon. Pain. Why the pain? Why the pain? What brings you, what ails you today? What brings you pain? Machine guns are the least common units. I would say that they used to be. Nowadays, I don't know if I'd call them the least common. I pulled Senti. That's a bit rough. Well, okay, at the very least, the one thing about pulling Senti that's great is that she's still super viable in the arena. She's still the best burst 2 in the arena. So, your arena teams are going to be bolstered at least. Oh, you have her max core, so you just get the body part, or the spare parts. Is it enough? Because that's, what, 25 high-quality molds? Does that give you enough for a pull? If you're, like, halfway there? Unless you're saving. You might be saving to do, like, a 10 pull in SSR molds. Somebody did that, where they just saved up all the whole time to get 10 SSR mold pulls, and they literally got 10 SSRs. And they took a snapshot of it. It looks so trippy. I'm not used to seeing that many SSRs on the screen all at once. Oh, it was an SSR pull. I mean, I guess it refunded you. It's better than getting an SR at the very least. But yeah, it's only a half step up from getting an SR. Well, no, I'd say it's a couple steps up from getting an SR. SR is only worth 200, whatchamacallit, 200 body labels. At least you get a fuck ton of body labels, right? But yeah, that does suck. Burst 2 with cooldown reduction? Just you wait? I don't know if I like the idea of collab units or limited units getting cooldown reduction. Because that's what happened with Summer Helm, and it's like, dude, that's so rough. Like, oh, you didn't pull for Summer Helm? Well, you just don't have enough cooldown reduction units to play solo raid properly. Have fun, you know? It kind of sucks. I don't know, man. I'm only seeing 9 SSR machine gun units, with the SMG being the second lowest. I would still like more SMG units, like I said. Too many MG units in such a little time. See, the problem with that, though, is that the SMG is dog shit. That is easily the worst gun in the game. Easily. It's not even close. It has no benefits. There's no optimal range where you really want the gun over some of the other choices. I don't know, there's no situation you'd ever want an SMG. It's pretty much exclusively used for, what is it? Support units? And even then, I don't know, it's like the worst gun you can give them. So I don't know. I don't want any SMG units until they make SMGs good. Because SMGs are just so bad. The only good SMG user in the game is Soline. She is the only usable... She's the only... Okay, I say good, sorry. Obviously leader is good. What I mean is that where the gun itself does damage. There's only one, and it's only Soline. And she has to have 2 of them to make them effective. You know what I mean? None of the Burst 3 DPSs have an SMG, because it's just that bad. And again, Soline has it, but she has to have it akimboed. And even then, it's not like her gun's amazing. It's just, it's good. It's good, and you can shore up a lot of its weaknesses with overloads. Unfortunately, it requires too many overloads. Like, there's so many weaknesses in the dual SMGs that it can benefit from hit rate, crit rate, crit damage, attack, element damage up, what's the other one? And max ammo. She wants all of them, which is kind of bad. Because on one hand, it means that, like, oh, isn't that good? You can shore up a lot of her weaknesses that way. Yeah, but now you have the problem of, like, every other character, they just want 3 of those. They just want attack, element damage, and maybe max ammo. Or attack, element damage, and maybe hit rate. Something like that. The problem with a character that wants too many is that, like, how do you split that up? Everyone wants attack and element damage, so Soline's in the same boat, right? But now you only have 4 overloads, but you need all of these attributes. You don't need just one. So it's like, what, do you get 1 max ammo, 1, or maybe 2 crit rate, and then 1 hit rate? Like, yeah, maybe, but then her gun lacks a fuck ton of range because you don't have enough hit rate. But if you don't get crit rate, then she doesn't deal as much damage because she already naturally has a very high crit rate, so getting more crit rate on her is really good. It's just, her gun has so many weaknesses. It's kind of sad. And even despite all of that, against the right bosses, for the longest time she was the 3rd best DPS in the game until they started introducing all these new, really broken units into the game. As soon as the treasure system comes around, though, she's going to be in a good spot. Because she's already good if they buff her tremendously. Which it kind of sounds like they're going for with the treasure system. They're just, like, completely revamping everyone's kit. And that'll be a good thing. Yoked out SMG buffer like Miranda but on steroids. So I want that to be the case. I don't think they'll do it, though. Because let's be real, there is literally only one SMG Burst 3 that does damage. Right? If I go SMG on the Pride Win tier list, how many Burst 3s are there that are specifically SMG units? Why is Red Hood popping up? Oh, sorry, Epinel also has it. But Epinel's thing is that her gun's dog shit, and her kit's good in that her skills... Or it's not good, but her kit's decent in that her skills kill things. Well, I don't know why Red Hood is put under SMG, it's really strange. But yeah, it's literally D, whose gun is dog shit, Epinel, whose gun is dog shit, Crow, whose gun is dog shit, and Soline, whose gun is okay. Her gun is good. It's not very good, it's not excellent, it's not amazing, it's good. Epinel sweep. I forgot I have Epinel now. Yeah, she doesn't really see a lot of use. When she came out, like, the one thing she really offered was that she provided a good wave clearer for pushing campaign, but they're just better units for that now. And even back then, she wasn't like the best at it. She was just okay. I wasn't playing when Summer Helm came out. See, that's the thing about getting like limited units with cooldown reduction. Like that just is it's just gonna happen, you know, where people want these units but they're not available anymore. Now, mind you, she'll be available again this summer, but you have to wait until the summer. That kind of sucks. Because of her white outfit, I kind of like what this looks like with the darker background. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with this color of gray, since gray as a background can get really boring, but I kind of like what that looks like. I think that the upper part of the piece looks better with the white background, but when I take the full thing, I kind of do like the gray. I figure I can't have a white background on this piece because if you see these like sparkles and stuff, well, maybe it would be okay with a white background. Yeah, I guess I can see them. Why would you ever go for Summer Helm when Summer Honest is right there? Like, come on, man, you gotta Core 7 her. You need one copy of Summer Helm, though. You need one. Like, you can't just not get a copy of Summer Helm because she's cooldown reduction. Okay, now you can because Killer D exists. Or Killer Wife D exists. But if Killer Wife D didn't exist, she is a must-have. You can't just avoid getting her. Now you can. Hear me out. What if the next SMG unit... Oh, I read that. Yeah, I think I got everything. Yeah, Summer Honest is sick. So, more copies of Summer Honest is obviously good. But one copy of Summer Helm, I would argue, is... At least in the past, it was fairly necessary. Not so much anymore. Again, now that we have Killer Wife D, she is the 5th cooldown reduction unit, and now you just swap between Dola and Summer Helm. And hell, sometimes you don't even use either of them, and you just go with Leona on the shotgun team. Depending on the boss. I see the pain. What ails you today? Actually, I feel like I already said that earlier. Well, why the pain? Why the pain now? I did see in the Discord you did say that somebody stole your shit. That they cut off your like catalyzer catalyzer. One of those has to be right. It has to be. Catalytic converter. I said that. That was my second guess. Catalytic converter. I've never heard of that before, but that fucking sucks that they literally came to your house at night and just sawed that shit off. Jesus Christ. I've had friends who have been in similar scenarios. One of my friends had her radio stolen. Like, she just... Which is crazy because she lives in a really good area. But I guess what had happened is she lives in a good area right next to a... Or like let's say a mile and a half from a not so good area. And one of the people... Or someone rocked up to her house at like 3 a.m. From one of those not so good areas. And just stole her radio. Which, I mean, that's not fun. Driving without a radio for some people is impossible. I've come to the point now where I don't mind driving without hearing anything. But I know for some people, like, music is everything to them. So being unable to play their music is just, like why even drive anymore, you know? Broke my key lock to get in. Like, to your house? Like, was your car in, like, your what is it, your garage, and they just broke that shit? Or was there a key lock on your catalytic converter? Maybe that's how it works. to cite beat their ass action if you catch someone doing that. The radio. Yeah, she like opened up her car and the entire like dashboard radio section was just gone. Like someone literally just like ripped that shit out of the car. I didn't even know that that was possible. Oh, they stole the radio too? Jesus Christ. That fucking sucks. If you really need, if you really need it in a, and you really need it in states that require emissions tests, those substates you don't need it, you get away with a straight pipe. Huh. I know that or my state requires emissions tests. I know that. I don't know. I don't remember how often. Like, well, I live in California, so obviously, but what, every 3 years, 4 years or something? Yeah, required to do a smog. Yeah, okay, it's every 2 years. Took 2 to 3 weeks to beat the dumb whale. We take these on to chapter 22. Wait for Crow to actually be evil. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Don't you worry about it. My God. My God, it happens. But yeah, I do genuinely love the little arc that's 22 through 24. I think it's really good. So hopefully you enjoy it as well. It's not a perfect set of chapters, but I like the story that they tell. Time check. Oh wow, 12:30. Dude, I feel like every time I look over, it's like, okay, it just hit 12, so I'll stream for a little bit longer and then we'll be good. And then the next time I check, it's like, dude, where did the time go? Hold on, let's find a place to raid. Oh, 68 streaming. That's pretty rare. Let me check out 68 stream. he's drawing some pretty cultured stuff right now. Here we go. You guys want to check out my social media? Links will be right there in the chat. Twitter, Pixiv, Instagram. If you guys have an account on one of those websites, I'd greatly appreciate the support. Discord if you want to know when we go live, pick up your sub benefits, chill, hang out, talk to us, totally cool. Merch store if you want to pick up any Boot Mouse Pets posters, stickers, or wall scrolls. And desk mats coming soon. I still haven't been told when that will be up on the store. Let me see. Yeah, they're not up yet. I still haven't received a message from Bosso Box back. But I did send all the files his way, so once those things are up, you guys will know. Or be the first to know. And then, what else? Right, Patreon. I post exclusive pieces now on the Patreon, so if you want to check those out, I'd greatly appreciate it. And any help that comes my way is genuinely very helpful. And hopefully you guys enjoy the content that's up and on there. Other than that, pretty much good. So I'll see you guys all on the next stream, which will be tomorrow night. So take care, take it easy, stay safe, and I hope I can see you guys on the next one as well. Peace out.